Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And if you like me, your feed is filled with this crap because that's what it is. It's crap. Let's listen to Austin Metcalf's dad speak.
Had a little bit of sorrow because I'm human. And that poor boy is fixing to experience a life that I would not wish upon anyone, but he deserves what he gets. Because what it boils down to for me is this: Austin will never walk through that door again and never give me a hug. This morning was the first day I woke up with a feeling of peace, comfort that I haven't experienced in 14 months. And I felt Austin give me a hug. And he told me, "Pops, it's going to be okay."
And what do you attribute that good feeling to?
God.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. You know, I seen a video this morning where people were pissing on Austin's grave. Now think about that for a minute. And I know most common sense people go, "What the fuck?" But black people are literally on the internet begging for a problem, talking about white people don't let me catch you out this weekend. You know, and it blows my mind, man, because if it was a white kid that did this to a black young man, they'd burn the fucking town down. And, you know, I know a lot of good black folks. I really do. I'm not saying anything negative about black people themselves. But when you act like this, there's a lot to be said for it. What's up, info? There really is. There's a lot to be said for this. Where did we get into a period of time where everything is white people's fault? You know, most white people are just as poor and broke as the black people I know. When are they going to realize it's the rich against the poor? And they're the ones feeding us this shit through the media. They sit back and laugh at us. And when I say us, I mean all of us as in a group, because they're so easily controlled. I've never seen anything like it. And these people claim to be brilliant and smart. And, you know, imagine blaming a whole race for your shortcomings. And really what you're saying is you're not smart enough to do it on your own. You need somebody to hand it to you. That's what I hear out of it. And I may be wrong, but that's what I hear. It is. It is. And this shit, you can just click on a couple of them. It was legal. Was it? Was it legal? So when do you carry a knife to a school? The common person knows that this is just absurd. You don't even have to say it. And where was this kid's parents? You know, this kid's parents didn't even show up to this young man's sentencing. Camilo's parents didn't even show up. And I heard Austin's dad say something about he asked Camilo's parents to do a visual and a prayer, trying to bring peace back to the community. And they didn't want nothing to do with it. You wonder why? Because they wanted to keep people incited. They wanted to keep people riled up. This man lost his son. I don't get it, man. I really don't. Let me see if I can find the one where he's talking. Actually, he gives the whole interview.
A 17-year-old boy is dead. Another is on trial, fighting for his life. And what does America do? Makes it a race war on social media. Carmelo Anthony is black. Austin Metcalf is white. And the minute that hit the internet, neither one of them was a kid anymore. They became ammo. The media didn't cover a tragedy. They covered a tension, because tension gets clicks. Grief doesn't. Here's what actually happened. Two boys who did know each other, argument over a seat under a tent in the rain at a track meet. That's it. No gang history, no racial motive, no manifesto. Two kids, one bad moment, one didn't make it home. But the internet needed a villain, and depending on which side of the screen you were on, they picked one based on skin color before a single witness took the stand. That's not justice. That's entertainment dressed up as outrage. And here's the double standard. Nobody wants to say out loud. When a black child dies, the media wants systemic racism in the headline. When a white child dies and a suspect is black, the same media wants to talk about context, about poverty, about circumstance. Pick a lane. Either every life matters equally in the courtroom and in that coverage, or stop pretending the scales are balanced. A mother buried her son. A family is watching their child face life in prison. And we're out here making content, all of us, including me. The difference is I'm telling you to pay attention to the trial, not the timeline, not the hashtag, the actual evidence, the actual testimony, the actual facts, because that's the only place justice lives. I'm Diesel Greasel, and I'm paying attention, just like you.
Let's see if I can find
The father of Austin Metcalf was just kicked out of a local press conference where Carmelo Anthony's family is set to speak. He was escorted out by local police. In response to this, the representation for Carmelo Anthony says that Jeff showing up to this press conference was a disrespect to the dignity of his son that is unalive.
The father being at this press conference is a disrespect to the dignity of his son.
Press conference was being held at the Next Generation Action Network offices, and Carmelo Anthony's parents are set to give
how his dad didn't
address the
stab
public regarding
nobody
this
for being
entire
told to leave?
situation. After Metcalf's father showed up, he was swiftly asked to leave. Has now pushed this entire press conference back nearly an hour. Now, I did see a bunch of people saying how he was asked to leave and he left without puncturing somebody. And I just have to say one thing in regard to that. One, you are comparing a grown man to a child. And two, nobody physically put their hands on Austin Metcalf's dad. Regardless, I'm curious to know what you guys think regarding this. Do you feel like Austin Metcalf's father?
It's all in the feed, though. They're calling for violence on white people. If you go outside this weekend, white people, just know you're going to get your ass beat. I'm like, bitch, y'all are calling for a problem you really don't want. You have no way to extinguish it. Most white people do not want violence. But I'm telling you, if you push a certain group of people to a point where they feel like they have no choice, no sirens is going to stop them. Now, you take that for what you want. $35 years was light. I'm going to tell you, 35 years was a real light sentence.
I think it's this house. Pull up with them sticks out and shoot it up and won't leave no nigga. Don't you know that I will crash my mind? You know I thought about it. I think it's this house. Pull up with them sticks out and shoot.
The shit is outrageous, man. What's up, redneck?
And I had my suspicions about Kyle Rittenhouse being a goofy. Soon as he started doing that shit on the stand. As soon as you do that, you're questionable to me.
Original Batman.
I had my suspicions about Kyle Rittenhouse being a goofy. As soon as he started.
I wish these would just play, because if I could get them just to play.
Carmelo Anthony has been found guilty, as he should, as he should, over the incident that happened more than a year ago of him stabbing that boy at that Frisco track meet. Let me be very clear, people. First off, that family raised over $600,000 damn dollars that was supposed to be the main purpose to the boy attorney fees. They gave this boy a public defender. You want to know why, in my humble opinion? Because his family, his parents looked at that situation, knew exactly that that boy had no chance at all. So what they did was they went to go spend the money on damn houses and materialistic things, such as dodo brain black people do, all right, and threw that
That's
boy
the part
under the
that
bus.
throws me. They didn't even spend the money on his defense team. If they would have actually paid a real lawyer, they probably would have got Austin 20 years or something. I mean, not Metcalf, but Camilla 20 years or something. They left him with a public defender. So you want the whole internet to care more about your child than what you do. You can't make this shit up.
Said that Austin grabbed Carmelo with both hands. Now I'm finna tell y'all how it really happened. And this came out in court today. Austin went over there when Carmelo was telling him, touch me and see what happens. Touch me, and see what happens, right? Austin got up and he didn't have to walk very far because they were sitting together very close. Hunter stood up. Austin went over there since he was telling Carmelo, he was saying this, you got to get out of here. You got to go. You can't sit here. You need to go. You need to get out of here. So what he was going to do is he was going to take Carmelo, who was on a ninth bleacher, because he did this. He went over there. He was going to throw him out. He said that Austin grabbed Carmelo with both.
She didn't tell us shit, did she?
Austin Metcalf died because he was chimping out. See, all you white people out there who hates this case, who hate Carmelo, love Chud the Builder. See, Chud the Builder was walking around harassing black people. And he said, if you touch me, see what's going to happen. He even put it on Twitter. And the people who got mad, he said they was chimping out. Chud the Builder also said the final finale is a dead chimp on the ground. Well, damn. I think Chud the Builder is a prophet.
Good morning, Dan.
White people out there got to stop chimping out.
Listen, I haven't
stop raising
followed
other chimps.
the builder dude, but if that's what he done, if that's really the truth what he done, damn be him too. Damn with him too.
Or they're going to be on the ground too for chimping out. Touch me and see what's going to happen. Austin Metcalf died because he was chimping out.
This 17-year-old student was just stabbed in the heart on the track yesterday.
I want to get to the ones where the black people are threatening white people. Because to me, that shit is fucking crazy, man. You know, this dumbass guy.
He never brought a knife to school. It was a tool. What kind of tool? A Boy Scouts tool. And it wasn't 6 inches. It wasn't 4 inches. It's a little small tool, compact tool.
See how they tried to smooth everything over? This dumb motherfucker right here.
What kind of tool is it, Mo? A multi-tool that the Boy Scout uses.
You stupid fuck. If it's got a knife blade on it, guess what it's called? A knife. I know you blind in one eye, but you can't be stupid.
You got screwdrivers, everything on it.
Okay. Wasn't a knife. It wasn't a knife. But since you guys can't go to the trial, you can't be in the trial, you're not talking to nobody that's reliable in the trial, y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So let me just break this all the way down. A black man has a gun, he gets killed. I thought we get to have guns. A black man says, put your hands on me and watch what I do. That's a threat. Well, according to all the witness statements.
Bro, you know, it'd have been different if they actually was fighting. There wasn't no fight going on. The dude was from a competitive team trying to figure out what their plans were or some shit like that, probably. You know what I mean? Why else would he want to go in a tent with the opposing team? He went in there 2-star day confrontation. I'm going in there. There ain't nothing they gonna do. What's up, Bear?
According to all the witness statements in the beginning and now.
Yeah, no, there's no weapons allowed at school. Anything with a knife on it. Even fingernail clippers, like the little ones with the scissors on it. They're not really fingernail clippers, but the little bitty pocket knife. My kid had that as a keychain, and I had to come get it. Now, she didn't get in no trouble for having it because it was just hooked to her book bag. You could see it, right? She was just using it, messing around. She was real small.
During the whole altercation, Carmelo Anthony never stood up. He never stood up. As a matter of fact, the Metcalf brother had to come 3 rows up to come confront him. Carmelo never got up. Carmelo never said, touch me and see what happens. That's what the initial report says. He never stated that. So this is what they've coached the kids up. They brought in the lies. Why?
Now, the black community has instilled in your kids that all their problems are white people's. White people done it to them. I've heard more racist black people than I ever heard of racist white people.
Because all the coaches went to the high school. But one thing you cannot deny initial police statements. I'll tell Sarah, what's that bitch name? Sarah, whatever the hell. And by the way, he never brought a knife to school. It was a tool. What kind of tool?
For one where he says, what is it? Nothing matters but this. He was at a school event at the wrong team's tent with a knife. He clearly chose murder than to walk away, cut and dry here. Nope, wrong. Imagine you are invited to a party at someone else's house and you are legally carrying a firearm. And then a fight breaks out and or like an altercation breaks out between you and some guy and, there's drinking involved or whatever. I'm not trying to make a 1-for-1 scenario. I'm trying to create a potential scenario separate from this one with similarities. You go to a party. Let's say you go to a party. And some guy starts saying stuff like, yo, man, get out of here. And you're like, I can do what I want. I was invited to the party. Verbal altercation escalates. And then the dude, you're sitting there and you pull your sweater back and you've got a gun. You put your hand up and say, don't come close to me, bro. I'm warning you right now. Do not come close. Do not take another step. Then the guy grabs your arm and makes a move. So you draw your weapon and you use it.
No, that is not staying your ground. Your life has not been threatened. Here's the misconception with that, right? A lot of people believe that just because you have an altercation with somebody that you can do whatever you want. And that's not the case. Your life has to clearly be threatened for staying your ground to work. You can get in a fist fight with somebody. Now, if somebody's holding you down and beating the living shit out of you, yeah, you can do what you got to do. But if there is a way to retreat, you have to take that. You have to take an exit. You can't just touch me and see what happens and plunge a knife in somebody. These people are so fucking stupid. Listen, Unc knows. Unc's been to prison for violence. I'm not calling for violence anywhere. I think these people are getting out of hand because if something bad like that was to pop off, it would end tragically for these people. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But this shit is starting to get radical because it's every time there's an issue between black people and white people and they put it on the fucking internet. And it's so stupid because people don't realize it's the media. It's the people that control the source of the media and the way they spin it. They control the algorithm. They control what's being fed to you. And it's funny, until I put this live up, I was seeing all these negative things. Now I got live up and was wanting people to see it. And 90% of it ain't that way. Ain't that funny.
So this fucking case for Carmelo and Austin and whatever, no, Austin's dead, never mind. Carmelo's going on, right? Listen, I'll be a fake motherfucker if I ever said that I ain't do no stupid shit when I was 17, 18 years old, fight and all that shit. But thank God I'm from Jersey, motherfucker, because in Jersey, you can't walk around with a fucking GUN on you like these other fucking coward-ass southern states. Y'all motherfuckers is all pussy. That's why y'all always fucking shoot first and shit. Y'all don't even need a fucking license down there to carry any fucking weapons. Up in the tri-state area, you catch that shit, you going to prison, motherfucker, 5 beers off the top. No, it's not. But back to what I was saying. But this is a key moment. I would say this now is to mind your fucking business. That's what everybody should do.
No shit.
The kid
man.
Austin, fucking bitches don't ever stop fucking
no
texting.
doubt,
Like, bro, I did not respond the first
people
time.
Don't understand is somebody with money that's doing that shit. But some of the shit that I've seen on here was fucking ridiculous. I wish.
Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today. Yes, I am, sir.
Let's see if I can get.
Hi, I'm Aurora.
Sir, there's
is the sentencing. 35 years, while the rest of these little ass white boys get 10, 11 years. I got deferred probation for shooting a white boy. Had I been black, I would have been down the road. I would have been in fucking prison for at least 2 decades.
Say, bro, see, it's people like this who I really fucking love, bro. This the kind of people that we love, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I see a whole
they
lot
push
of
your
white
narrative.
people telling everybody to not trust certain white people. What the fuck do that tell y'all, man? Wake the fuck up around this bitch.
Is the sentencing.
I'm gonna like this because I want
years,
this shit to
while
pop
the
up
rest
in
of
my
these little
feed.
ass
Trust me,
white
I don't
boys
like this
get
shit.
10, 11 years.
Rep Crockett, you might have seen that Carmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years. I want to get your reaction to the trial and the verdict.
My heart breaks that they wouldn't even say, well, maybe this was more so something that looked like manslaughter. But walk a day in my shoes and then respond. Because we as black folks say,
they probably would have dropped it to manslaughter if he pled out, fucking retard. But you know why he didn't plea out? Because his parents wouldn't fucking let him. They dragged that shit out to keep
he
that.
didn't plead out because he knew that this shit was getting this much attention in the media, and he thought that the voice of the black community was going to get this overturned. That's why he didn't plead out. And you know, I kept hearing about they had all 12 white jurors. Stop me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Austin's lawyer in charge of picking 6 of those jurors?
GoFundMe money going and stuck his ass with a public defender while they're getting nose jobs and new houses. Great fucking parenting, guys. No wonder the fucking kid stabbed somebody. Imagine your son's on trial for murder and all you care about is fucking how much money you're making off the situation. On the flip side to that, imagine your son.
And look at the dumb motherfuckers that kept donating to that shit, knowing that that's what was going on. There's no way in fucking hell a normal, decent parent could fucking, that's what they keep saying, bro. That's what they keep saying, smart mouth. That's the only reason why I say that is because I've heard over and over and over again it was all white jury. We'll look it up, though. You actually got a point. I probably shouldn't have said that until I had found out.
Gets killed and the whole nation's donated over $500,000 to the family of the kid that killed your fucking son. What the fuck? None of this shit makes any fucking sense.
Rep Crockett.
Split mini boat.
I've heard a lot about justice for Carmelo, right?
Yeah. Justice for Carmelo. I would have stabbed that nigga too. I would have stabbed him too. No argument. Just I would have stabbed him too. Let's continue.
Why?
Hey, I would have did it to him. I promise I would have. I would have did it to him. I promise you. I would have did it to him. I would have did it to him.
But why?
I would have did it to him and his brother.
Okay, but for what reason?
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Them little boys came looking for trouble.
Okay.
They came looking for trouble. The boys who were under the tent belonging to their own team are the ones who came looking for trouble, not Carmelo Anthony, who didn't belong to that team, who came to sit underneath a tent that did not belong to his team, who told those boys, touch me and see what happens.
Let me grab a
after
Red
he
Bull.
was
I'll be right
asked
back.
to leave
I'm
15
finna get
times.
hyped up
They
talking
are the
about this
ones
shit.
who came
As
looking
much
for
as
trouble,
old man
not
can get
Carmelo
hyped
Anthony. Okay. Come looking for trouble. You don't know what fucking outcome going.
Sure.
You don't know outcome. You rob a bank. You don't know if you're gonna get the money.
Wait, somebody robbed a bank?
Hold on. Listen.
Man, you want to play dumb, man.
Listen.
No, I'm trying.
Good on that woman. Just separate him because obviously he, like Carmelo Anthony, doesn't know how to separate himself from a situation to de-escalate the situation. He just simply doesn't know how to. It's like he cannot control himself.
No, I want to hear.
Oh, he comes back.
I want to hear. Yeah. Let's talk about it. All right.
You can record it, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, I want to.
You rob a bank,
insight,
right? You rob a bank, right? You might get the money. You might go to jail. You might be dead, right?
Right.
You fuck with the wrong motherfucker. It's the same way. Them boys were looking for trouble.
They were looking for trouble, not Carmelo Anthony. Again, it was the boys under the tent belonging to their own team who simply asked him to leave. They were the ones looking for trouble, not the kid who brought a knife to attract me.
You know what happened? He got stabbed and he died because he wasn't looking for trouble. That's self-defense, motherfucker. So if you can't see that between your fucking little ass brain, motherfucker.
All right.
Do I have to tell you? I have to whisper to you?
So
You want me to whisper to you?
no, I just.
You want me to whisper it to you, motherfucker?
You can talk in.
You want me to whisper it to you?
Oh, you're yelling
All
right
right,
now.
then, bitch.
You know,
Play with somebody else, nigga. I'm a real gangster. Play with somebody else. I'll fuck you up.
I'm just trying to.
He's a real gangster. Go play with somebody else. He can't have any sort of civilized conversation. Can't defend Carmelo Anthony's actions in the slightest way other than to say that the other people who asked him to leave because Carmelo was doing something he shouldn't have been doing when he could have left, instead enticing them saying, touch me and see what happens.
What's up,
His only
815?
excuse is to say the other people were looking for trouble.
His lawyer wasn't a public defender. He started out as a public defender in his career.
People caused the trouble, not the person who asked to leave.
Now, let me ask you something, 815. So the speaker that they had for the dude, was he a weirdo? And when I mean a weirdo, you know what I'm talking about, underage kids. Was he ever charged with that? Because that's one of the things that I kept hearing too. And I'm wondering if that's a lie.
Who was there for no good reason, who refused to leave and then said again, touch me and see what happens, then proceeding to stab and kill somebody else. Again, this is the exact same behavior that led Carmelo Anthony to the position that he is in today. He could not control himself.
I've heard a lot about justice for Carmelo, right?
Yeah. Justice for Carmelo. I would have stabbed that nigga too.
I would have stabbed him too. No argument. Just, yeah, I would have stabbed him too. Let's continue.
Why?
Okay, so Ram says one black eligible jury reportedly said they've had a hard time putting a brother in jail. Meanwhile, another allegedly stating silence is deafening. It matters. It's difficult to ignore. Okay. All right.
Yeah, they threw bleach all over this motherfucker, dude. Look at this shit. Everything's coming.
Omar, if I get in a fight and the people beating me up, you will watch me get beat up?
Yep, I'm gonna call the police.
So you ain't gonna help me fight?
My son didn't intend to hurt anyone.
There was no innocent until proven guilty. He was already guilty.
They are delusional. Look at the shirt that he's wearing. It says, believe Carmelo. Believe what? He hasn't said anything. He didn't take the stand. Believe his silence? Believe your t-shirt? This is illogical. They create these echo chambers where you can have all of your delusional thoughts confirmed. He didn't want to harm anybody. He didn't want to kill Austin Metcalf. Your son brought a knife to a high school track meet. We've constructed a popular culture that shields black people and leftists from common sense. There's another child dead, and they can't see what their child did wrong.
My son.
And let me state this just for the record. I would feel the same way if the roles were reversed. I don't care what nobody says. A child does not deserve to die. I don't give a fuck what color they are. And that's the thing that people are missing. These were two children, and somewhere along the line, one had been taught that everything was the other race's fault. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Hillbilly. That pissed me off. That pissed me off. Let somebody walk up on me fucking with me.
Sign him up for the army. He ready. You see how he letting them things go? Get over there and let them go for Iran and for our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Now get your ass over there and fight for this country. He ready.
Yo guys, check this out. Can your dog do this? Hit me up in the comments below if you can. And don't forget to hit the follow and repost this video. Awesome guys. Cheers.
Ready, set, go. And tell y'all the truth, and I know that the truth makes some of y'all want to peel y'all skin off.
I don't care, start peeling. If you're one of those people who said that what Rick Chow did to Cyrus was wrong, yet
Byron.
Day. Hey y'all, I spent the day at the beach.
Maybe I should like
mice.
some more of that shit so it stayed in the feed.
Hey y'all, I know.
Let me go back up there and like one of them so they will. That motherfucker fucked up, wasn't he? He feeling that shit, boy. Somebody gave that boy some ecstasy. He gonna wake up with a finger in his ass.
goes on. He ready.
Hey.
In the same.
Ooh, I still.
Of Become Festival in Atlanta, Georgia.
Like a world.
All right, World Cup fans, tonight.
Okay, within weeks, Shark Dive.
If you think the videos of 250 years, if you think the videos of the foreigners,
This is.
You can see what I don't watch. This is the shit that be.
Am I the only one binge watching these Europeans talk?
I promise you, my sons will never be street niggas. They don't got it in them. Just like me, I didn't have it. I didn't have a choice. My dad had said, "Hey, listen, sports and school. That's it. There ain't no street. There ain't no guns. Don't talk to me about guns and drugs and alcohol. You ain't doing none of that."
Very exciting.
Send this to find shit.
You know, if you're one of those people.
Peruvian police burst into the home of a suspected drug trafficker.
Beat the Muslim when he trying to.
Oh shit, that's message. We don't want that. We want reels.
We are.
Année direction Cannes pour le.
Goldfish crack. Want to go to the World Cup?
Let's go to the goddamn World Cup, dude.
Hey, we're waiting.
I feel bad for this little kid right here, man. I hope he makes it. I really do. What's up, pimp?
Waiting room. I should be getting called back in the next 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm going to get that MRI on my head, and they're going to do the map stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. You ain't going to fuck with me just because I'm white.
My name is Precious Knife.
Life don't matter.
When conflict happened, black people, not all, but a lot of these black people's true colors come out. This is how they really feel about you, white people.
Hell yeah.
Listen to what this man said.
Life don't matter.
I'm saying that. Because y'all want to play these games. Y'all want to play these crackhead games, so I'm going to play them. White lies. How about that? How about that? I hate white people. I like
I take that back. Hold on. I tell you what, he's probably unemployed. Let me not lie. He probably ain't got no job. That's why he out here acting like this. And he got time to sit out here and be racist because he probably unemployed or he a street pharmacist.
I'm on this up. That's it. I'm holding on. And this a guy holding this up. You know why people are talking to each other. You're surprised to get black.
So white man tried to give him a hug and reconcile.
Hi, fam.
All right, you fucking fuck sticks. We made it to 200. A lot.
Oh, God.
This Chike Rick Chow. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Chike Rick Chow, as to the charge of murder, not guilty.
Let me guess. They're going to say that this dude's white too, right? This Chinese dude. They're going to say he's white too. What was the other one that happened with the stand your ground in Florida? George Zimmerman. They classified that dude as white, and he's like, I'm not fucking white. I'm Asian.
To my
scrap metal buddy brought me another round of circuit breakers to get the silver out of, and I've been seeing the crackhead comments talking about I'm just out here messing around, and I'll be honest with you. Rolling up to the counter at the hardware store with some bleach, lye, muriatic acid, some drain cleaner, asking if they put this in a yard sale down the street.
I just flew in to Chicago.
Most.
I cried this morning. Just being honest. And it's because I'm starting to realize my purpose and what I'm actually trying to do here. And It's the ones at the top.
Let me see. Let me try to find. I was
Good
trying
morning,
to
y'all.
find them.
Happy Monday.
It's funny
Happy
now
Monday.
that I want to find them.
What it do, y'all?
After all these years, I worked down in Detroit. I only had one old man say anything to me. He said, "Don't like your kind down here." Yeah, well, it's a free country. Copper Top, you can go anywhere you fucking want to go.
When Trump builds things in.
Hey, y'all.
I guess
I be arguing with the police and y'all be beefing with the police and shit. What the fuck do you niggas get that shit from? Yo, my man Doobie and me, we was walking through and the police stopped us, the searches. And when they stopped us, the searches, I was making noise like y'all do. I'm black, I'm minding my business in my neighborhood. You can't stop me, I got rights. My man's hit me and said, yo, shut up, man. And he was respectful as fuck to the police. Yo, he went through the whole process.
They're the ones
right
in
way.
charge.
It was time
I've
for him to
never had a
search me.
problem. You know, even when I was on the run after I shot them boys, I never had a problem. When that motherfucker said, "Freeze, put your hands up," said, "Okay." They had me. Why in the fuck would you fight the police? If you get one of them, all he's going to do is call his buddies. Now you done pissed them off. Now there's 10 of them after you. And all of them itching to shoot the shit out of you. The shit makes no sense. You can't tell me. I mean, 90% of the cases you see where a motherfucker gets shot and the window broke out the car, they're refusing to do what they're told. I mean, it's common fucking sense. You're blocked in. They got you surrounded. They're fucking tapping on your window. Open the door. Nope. What are you expecting to do? They're not going away. You got to be fucking retarded. What's up, ADA?
Told me tighten up. Y'all let him search me, man. Man, he told the police, thank y'all for fucking protecting the community or you keeping my mother safe. All that shit. When they were searching this man, they touched the weed that was in his sock. Mind you, this is back in the day where a bag of weed take you straight to central bookings. This when the weed was real. This when a dime bag can go in a house still bagged up and stank up the whole house. Yes, a fucking 0.5, nigga. A 0.5 was a dime or some loud. Come on now. So now let's talk about it, right? The police asked him, what is this? And he said, that's just a little bit of weed, man. Then my little brother about to go in the house and smoke down. I just got off of work, y'all. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? And the police said, all right, cool. And they just kept it going. It's just some weed. He's respectful. It's all good.
They
He
got
said, man, teach a little.
brainwashed into thinking that they're superior and that they're supposed to be able to fucking get away with everything and talk to people like they're trash and then wonder why they have a fucking problem.
Brother Mason, I got him. Have a nice night.
What's up,
Thank
Mr.
you
G?
again.
Just trust me.
So I'm gonna die pretty fucking soon. You can't really. I'm not this stupid like.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If you blame the white man for your problems, the white man is your god, brother. I mean, how can the white man be responsible for your position if he's not also responsible for your decisions? How can it be the white man's fault you're poor unless he has the power to make you rich, brother? I mean, if you believe the white man's holding you back, you also have to believe you need his blessing to get ahead. And you can't believe that while believing the white man's your equal, which means you believe the white man's your superior. Therefore, you're a white supremacist, brother. I mean, it seems to me that all of your black power rhetoric is about relinquishing your power to the white man. And what's the point of being Mr. Pro-Black Pump Your Fist if you're going to preach that the white man ultimately controls how you exist? I mean, if you tell someone something long enough, eventually they'll believe it.
So I guess every time we see a black person with a nice car, we're supposed to say, nice car. What white man give it to you? See how they react to that.
Start acting accordingly. So ironically, convincing your people they're oppressed makes you the one who's oppressing your people, brother. If you blame the white man for your problems, the white man
White man saved him.
Hello.
Good morning. Happy to.
Them kids are living a fucking life, boy.
Hey, my people of Georgia, I would like to know.
I gave up our 3-bedroom apartment.
Get it, wizard.
Kyle Bush, this one's for you.
Always be
there's
true
Carl.
to yourself.
Good morning, Carl.
Because truth, T-R-U-T-H, stands for taking real understanding to heart. Always be true to yourself.
Carmelo Anthony should have never defended himself, apparently, huh? He's supposed to just took that ass whooping and been a passive, docile being the way that Malcolm X told us they want us to be.
Come on, bro. You can't be serious. He could have defended himself. With his hands, he could have threw hands like a man instead of grabbing a knife like a little... Anyway, on top of that, he also could have just walked off. You guys are talking like he was backed in a corner in a dark alley in the middle of the night and had nowhere to go. He was under another team's tent. He could have walked off. He could have jogged off. He could have went somewhere else. He didn't choose those options.
He just wasn't going to let a cracker tell him he couldn't be there.
He chose touch me and see what happens. And then he chose to drive a knife through somebody's heart.
You know how hard you got to go to drive a knife into somebody's breastplate? Holy shit.
So no, it's not about him
defending
himself. You don't have to defend him because he's black. This is one of our...
They trying to say it was just a little bitty 2-inch knife or some shit. I bet it was bigger. Now, I'm kind of curious on what size.
This country has always believed since emancipation, the only good Negro is a dead Negro, and that's the reason why he's getting punished. How dare you stand up for yourself and your humanity and not fall into your place because, boy, you should know better.
This is also an idiotic talking point. Our country does not believe the only good black person is a dead black person. If that was the case, Barack Obama would have never become president. On top.
Now, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Obama was mixed, so.
Top of that, we would have never had 2 Supreme Court justices like we do right now. And
I give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know.
And sometimes.
Frank. It's the fact that
Austin Metcalf is dead. May he rest in peace. And he was stabbed to death by another person who is now going to spend over 30 years in prison, as deserved, because that's what we call murder in our society. Now, if you've noticed, I didn't mention anything about race. This is pretty an open shut case as the way I see it. But also keep in mind that Austin Metcalf is not going to have 35 years to live. If you really want to talk about this, the real victim is the kid that's never going to wake up again and his grieving family. Also, the fact that the left, and you talk about the woke mind virus, is willing to even bring up race in a situation is really disheartening to me. How about this? As a parent that has 3 children, I will ensure that you don't bring a knife to a track meet. You see, when you go to a track meet, it's just that. It's supposed to be competition. You're supposed to run around the track and people get first, second, third place and whatnot. And what you don't do is you don't provoke violence. And of course, you don't stab someone in the chest.
And how can they say that he was just peacefully sitting there? He brought a knife to a track meet. He was ready. Austin didn't know that he was fixing to be stabbed. I'm sure he wouldn't have went over or even talked with a dude if he knew that. I mean, I don't know the kids, but common sense tells you, hey, he got a weapon. You ain't gonna fuck with him. You let the adults deal with that shit.
What's with the attitude?
Just for
So my brother, I can't sit with him.
But what you say about your white people?
Oh, my white people ain't they're white people. My white people will fuck them white people up. My white people are not the same as their white people. All white ain't white. My white don't like that white.
Okay.
Yeah, all white ain't white. You say you got beige, like when you're white dirty, it's off white.
So I got a question.
Let's go.
When them uppity black motherfuckers get this race baiting and shit, they get to talking shit about your whites. If they get to try and bring harm towards your whites, how the fuck you finna act?
I'ma beat your ass. I got 6 children from ages 34 to 8. I have never, ever, ever used black and white and those words in their beginning nor in their ending. Those words that you use, even when you first born with your child, and you tell your child you black and you gotta work 7 times harder and all that, that already means you a failure, you a coward, and you don't know what to stand on. I wish I would work any more times than I have to, or my babies have to be.
I'm gonna tell you right now, most black people that don't want to work, but actually, I mean, they hold a job, but they don't like really want to work real hard. It used to piss me off. I used to go, man, come on, man, get going. And they're like, I ain't, You know what? They're actually smarter than the average white person who's worked themselves to death. Last night, I was thinking about that. Damn, I'm sore. I'm wore the fuck out. My knees hurt. My back's fucked up. Black dude in the same age, worked same place. He's just fine. He out jumping around playing basketball and shit. You want to know why? Because he ain't slaved his ass away and made the same fucking money I was making. Make that make sense. Some white people stupid in that aspect. Now, when you're working for yourself, that's one thing. But
It looks like Y'all, I'm going to be very clear with.
Oh. Bet.
Turn off the car. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Now! 299, she almost struck me. Get out of the car!
That's what you're supposed to do.
Shots fired! You're hit! Show your hands!
Yeah, show your hands.
Shots fired!
And we're
I don't feel. I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for people like that. I just don't. Good morning, Captain America. I do not feel sorry for stupid people.
Guy is the perfect example of why Carmelo Anthony is going to prison for the murder of Austin Metcalf.
All right, so I've heard a lot about justice for Carmelo, right? Yeah.
Justice for Carmelo. I would have stabbed that nigga too.
Why?
Hey, I would have did it to him. I promise I would have. I would have did it to him.
But why?
I would have did it to him and his brother.
Okay, but for what reason?
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Them little boys came looking for trouble.
Okay.
When you come looking for trouble.
Them little boys came looking for trouble.
Get out the store.
Yeah, no doubt, Ramred, and have every reason to be.
Now, you mean to tell me some of you black folks ain't going too far?
Yeah, this is what pissed me off this morning.
Now, this guy goes and piss on Austin grave. Do you know how disgusting that makes us look? That's why I wish they just say some black folks, because I'm not with this bullshit. I don't disrespect myself like that.
You're going to disrespect
that shit didn't make no
dead.
sense whatsoever. See, now, right now, if somebody would have caught him that's in that family and beat the shit out of him, y'all would have been marching for him. Because I see the comments. Y'all so proud of what the fuck he did. Because y'all the ones that's the problem. Y'all are the problem. Anybody condone this scumbag pissing on this little boy's grave?
Barry, no doubt, right?
Anybody that support him, y'all the problem.
Come on, Luke, let's go.
I don't want no parts of that shit. Okay? That's not my style.
Barry,
never was.
And it's a hazard for me having 7 kids, too. Because Daisy walking around in them fucking shorts, boy. Howdy. Look out.
Never will be. And then you wonder why they look at all black people like savages. Because y'all condone this shit. Y'all condone it. That is so.
Carmelo Anthony just found out who he was. Apparently, he's going to prison for a long time.
I can't wait.
Race has a role in it outside the courtroom, outside that courtroom. I'm watching this as you are live. I'm feeling like there should be more police presence there in anticipation of this. I hope they anticipated. Race has a role.
Dad, I don't know what they jumping around for.
Like I say, I got a little short stick.
and when I make my rolls up, and I'm gonna give you an analogy.
And you don't use any machinery.
Oh no.
You seen his hands? Wow.
See, if when I make my roll up, I make that roll up, and I go back and let's say this the onion right here, and that's the root. I drop it down where I want it, and I take a stick and I'm walking. Go to the next one and just push it down in the ground, and it's no problem. I mean, you got to use what your cap set on.
Your head.
Your head. And so
you got to use what your cap
like
set
I say,
on.
I got
Look, no, go back and like that man video.
a short stick, and when I
just like
Attention, white people. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to play a video, and then I want to hear from my melanated brothers and sisters how this makes them feel. And I want to hear from the white community. How does this make you feel?
Collin County, Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Grand Prairie, Irvin, Dalworth, Plano, Denton, Keller. It ain't safe for none of you white folks to come out this weekend. I'm giving y'all a fair warning right now. And guess what? It's going to be a bunch of niggas outside that look like me. And we ain't out there with no pocket knives. We out there with these. I guarantee y'all going to pay for what that judge just did to Carmelo. If you don't believe me, bring y'all bold ass out this weekend and put on your Austin Metcalf shirts and see what happened to you.
You know, I'm really starting to realize that stereotypes are fucking earned. Way to live up to it. This is the same.
Quickest way to irritate me is keep asking me what's wrong. Bitch, I'm calculating. I'm trying to see, bitch, I'm trying to see what's going on. Why I came out of my bed, what's going on? Y'all bitches said all this, I could have stayed home. Stop asking.
Said I could have stayed home.
This is Monday, the beginning of a week. Let's make this week the best week we've ever had in our life. Have fun, be happy, and consider other people's feelings first. Sylvia.
So we got these veterans, y'all, that's trying to start a program underneath the nonprofit, teaching kids how to live out in the wild and how to use weaponry in the safest manner, and also teaching them self-defense. So I'm gathered here today in the countries of Maryland, Waldorf, you know what I'm saying, with the good people. We out here. Now, you gotta understand, I'm about to watch these people shoot guns, or not really watch, I'm about to chill in the car. I'm gonna just chill in the car, because, you know, I can't be around guns, but we gonna shoot some guns. I mean, they gonna shoot some guns. But I'm gonna be in the car away from that shit, because, you know, felons can't be shooting guns and shit like that.
All right. Hey, that's a badass truck right there. I don't know if motherfucker. They got that bitch right there down here by my way. And I'm going to tell you right now, standing next to that thing, your fucking chest would fucking that bitch walking the dog. It was green when I seen it though.
Man, cuz I don't know about you, but I'm about
Day 6.
I've been following this chick right here. She's rolling across the fucking ocean. You gotta be a retard,
Today's
man.
been a great day.
Yeah, they're
I've had some wind
rolling.
behind me,
Give
so
him a fucking outboard or something.
Him not testifying, Brandon, is weird to me. In a self-defense case, where I come from, and I've tried a bunch of cases, he is a young kid who's supposedly very smart, very articulate, good-looking kid, small in stature. My two issues with watching that trial, again, he killed a man. This is not a whodunit. He did it. He took a human life. This is Texas. And, you know, they will forgive a lot of stuff in Texas for killing another human. But you need to look him in the eye and explain, why did you feel you had to do it?
He didn't have no.
Why do you have a knife?
Justice to do it.
Answer the
That's
question
why.
no one wants to think about. Bruh, why you got a knife in your bag?
Right.
No, I've never heard an answer to that question. Like, I'm like, bro, why you got a knife? Get on the stand and tell people, look, I've been bullied. I've been threatened. I am scared. something to humanize yourself. And I don't understand. And I did a post about it earlier, and I guess sometimes, the reason we don't put people on the stands, people ask me, like, why don't you put your client on the stand?
Because they're guilty.
If I can get their story out without them subject to cross-examination, I'm going to get in. Rick Chow is a perfect example. Remember, I told you that statement. We got Rick Chow's statement out, and he didn't have to testify. I know Rick has very broken English.
Yes.
And so I'm like, Rick, and he was offended. He's just like, I want to testify. I'm like, you would be a witness. Why? Because you have trouble with the letter R. Like, I was like,
that's true. It's true. This is his son that testified.
It was his son.
It wasn't good because his English wasn't as good. He seemed to be hesitant on the responses, which made his credibility look bad. Even though it probably was, he wasn't hesitant. It's just that he probably trying to think through the English way to articulate this, and it did not look good for him. And I was like, God dang! I mean, if his story wasn't a story, this would look bad for him.
This is Josh just went underneath the house.
I don't know. Threatening people, talking about you can't.
Who are you to me? Man, this is my family, dude. This is my people. This is somebody that I grew up with. Can you explain to these motherfuckers why I do what I do and the dynamic of what the fuck I'm trying to do here? Okay, good. Listen, I get it. It's controversial. I can see how somebody from an opposite race that's talking about things in politics concerning our own may seem questionable. But you got to look at the alternative. When our own people is talking about our race, what do? You have individuals that may go against the script or go against the grain when it.
You choked the shit out of me. Okay. Yeah, you did. Turn the fucking thing off.
Stop!
Get out of my car right now. Get out of my car.
It's not even going right now.
Get out of my car.
Bro,
get out of my car. Get the fuck out of my car.
Stop.
You're not gonna sit here and try to fucking put me down.
The police behind us. Stop.
You're not gonna fucking put me down.
Hey, you have to stop.
Get out of my car.
Please stop.
Get out of my car.
Please stop.
Get out of my fucking car.
Please.
You're not gonna sit here recording me. Put your fucking phone away.
Hold your deals. Hey, you guys.
Damn at the flounder. Jesus Christ, he bought that motherfucker.
Come on, baby, it's good founder.
Y'all got it.
I bitch got the whole transom off that motherfucker. What the fuck he doing?
Yo!
Attention, white people.
Wow. Why are we replaying this one?
Don't go anywhere. I'm going to play a video, and then I want to hear from my melanated brothers.
Evidence does come out that Carmelo was not in fact fighting for his life when he stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf. Do you think that the black community will accept that?
If evidence shows that he did not, no, we're going to stand by ours regardless. They stand by theirs. We're going to stand by ours regardless. I'm a mother first. I'm a black mother. Let me put that on there. I'm an African-American mother. So.
Oof, you sound really stupid, like really ignorant. And you are exactly what is wrong with society and why this whole race thing is actually getting worse and worse because of.
And you know, here's the problem. Here's what I see happening. I see them playing the race card all the way out for everything it's worth until it ain't no good no more. And then there's actually going to be an issue somewhere where race does play a factor, and it's going to fall on deaf ears. That's what I see. Good morning, Jim.
You and people like you with your mentality about standing by. I'm a stand by mine. They
Back where I come.
Stand by theirs. No, we don't stand by ours. Regardless.
Oh, y'all come along and we run these catfish cans. Look at that right there. That's something you ain't never seen before. Let's get it. The big goose.
Well, it's official. They did it. They signed the assault weapons ban into law.
I'm in a tree stand, and there is a grizzly bear. Look at that. He's gnawing on a log, and this guy is coming up the tree. So that's terrifying. Hey, bud.
Yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna.
No, you can't.
So Daniel's gay. Why can't you get on?
Dream
to go to neighborhood.
Yep, that's me being denied entry on a bus to the neighborhood as a gay man by a clown.
Girl's gay. Why can't he get on the bus?
You said that the way to drive and get on the bus. Thank you.
I'm being too nice. That's a clown. Okay, that's a loony bin.
Why don't we go ahead and take the bus?
That's a loony bin.
How are we harassing?
This is the personification.
Hey, to the dude who said blacks love dangerous pit bulls. Nice. We're gonna keep moving forward, right? Yeah, exactly. I do want to be the
Earlier.
Okay, y'all, you can't make this shit up. So listen, former super mayor Tiffany Hay.
Scenario 3.
Frank.
Nobody gives a fuck about Frank or that car. Why are
Attention,
we
white people. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to play a video, and then I want to hear from my melanated brothers and sisters how this makes them feel. And I want to hear from the white community. How does this make you feel?
Collin County, Dallas, Texas, Arlington,
This done ran through
Grand
my
Prairie,
feed 3 or 4
Irvin,
fucking times.
Downward, Plano, Denton, Keller. It ain't safe.
How come I
white
can't
folks to
search
come
up
out this week.
Austin Metcalf shit on here? Somebody tell me. Because I've tried. I wanted to hear the father speak.
Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf. This man had great vision and people were mocking him. He was smart enough to say, I don't want to racialize this thing. Conservatives were mocking him and ridiculing him. You got to get this instant gratification. You should say this or that to Carmelo Anthony and his family. And this man said, no. He got a jury that he knew would deliver justice. He got a judge and a prosecutor that ran the trial in an orderly, just fashion. And then he got a sentence that gave him satisfaction.
I personally think that the boy should have got life.
Let's fucking go. Lock his ass up. Guilty. Everybody knew it. It was an open and shut case. Thank you to all of the jurors. I feel so bad for the family to have to suffer through all of this shit, all this stuff they had to watch.
It appears someone who knows Carmelo Anthony, like maybe romantically involved with him. This account just surfaced on TikTok, and I am just being observant. All right. We didn't get to see into this trial because the judge withheld those cameras the entire time, even for the verdict. So we only know so little information until all of that actually comes out. Maybe it's weird because I think that images can give you a little more information about somebody, but this account has photos of Carmelo Anthony, and you might be like, well, who cares? Or you want to see them. Wherever you fall, I'm going to look at them. It appears that this account was created to give support. Now, I don't know if this is a real account, and I don't know much about Texas. I feel like most Texans like cowboy boots, and they could even like carrying, I don't know, a pocket knife on them. And I'm not saying anything as far as being disrespectful to Austin Metcalf in this case and what happened, because he chose to pull that weapon out. All right. That was a choice that he made. With that choice comes consequences. There are several photos. It looks like this person could possibly be her, and it's like a carousel of photos together. And
I got news for her. I got news for this young lady. Find another one, because he's going to be laid up just like that with some dude where he's going. Don't worry. He's not going to be cold at night. There'll be somebody there to keep him warm. Sure enough.
I'm getting tagged in all of these graduation videos of these niggas just doing nigga shit. Doing flips and hitting each other, throwing stacks of cash and shit, hooping and hollering, dancing.
Hunter Metcalf. Hunter Metcalf will accept the posthumous diploma in honor of his brother, Austin Metcalf.
How fucking sad as that.
All in, baby! All in!
To be killed at a school. I mean, what?
Carmelo Anthony found guilty? Man, it's crazy, man. Man, it's crazy, man. He was defending himself. It's crazy, man. Although he was pushed first, felt threatened, like his life was in danger.
So when one of you dumb motherfuckers walk up on a white person and start hollering and threatening to do whatever to them, they're allowed to unload on you, right? Is that what you're saying?
The jury rejected self-defense, passed over manslaughter, and convicted him of murder. And this was after less than 3 hours of deliberation. Keep it note, y'all.
So, British Bulldog, it's not even about being scared to fight, right? He went in there with the intentions that he was going to hurt somebody. That's why he took the knife. I'm curious, and I probably should have looked this up already, but I'm curious to see who was winning the track meet. I know that really doesn't have anything to do with what's going on, but I'm wondering if that ain't what he was pissed off about, because the one school was whooping the other school's ass.
Keep it note, y'all. It wasn't not one black juror on that jury. And it's crazy because it's like they neglected the whole Texas law, and they say that Carmelo Anthony reason
So here's
to feel.
what Connie wrote in there. I don't know how true this is. Somebody else said this in the chat this morning. You're probably better off for it, pimp, to be honest with you. Yeah, I just woke up. The first thing I seen this morning was a black dude pissing on Austin's grave, a 17-year-old kid's grave, because he got killed and somebody got punished for it. It's beyond stupid, because you better believe if it was a white kid that stabbed a black kid in the same manner, you already know what'd be happening. They'd be tearing the fucking town down. But she said the reason why there were no black men on that jury or women was because when they were asked if they could be fair, they said they couldn't, because even if he was guilty, they did not want to give him, another black man, to the prison. So that's the reason why there were not picked. And he was asked 15 times to leave, and he chose, I don't know about the 15 times. He was chose not to leave. And when he challenged Austin to fight, Austin said, I don't want to fight you. He reacted me, and then he was daring people to touch him with his hands inside the bag, folding onto that knife. He knew exactly what he was going to do, and it's sad that people are just defending him because he's the same color as they are. That is wrong, no matter what color your skin is. Right or wrong, wrong is wrong. And he was definitely wrong to take another human life. He has no control. Maybe he will learn something before he gets out of prison, hopefully.
Threatened wasn't reasonable enough. Like, come on, y'all.
I wonder if we can hear the
man was
transcript of
scared.
the
You know, when
court
you
case now.
scared, you act out of just scarcity.
Let me go
you
see
don't
if
know.
we can actually find the transcript of it. Somebody has had to have posted it on YouTube by now.
I had a
Hopefully, I
little
don't
bit
get
of
stopped
sorrow
for playing this, but hold on, let me.
because
I listened to this father's speech, and I'm going to tell you, it was
Austin
back this up.
will never walk. I had a little bit of sorrow because I'm human. And that poor boy,
yeah, I've seen
is
that,
fixing to
British Bulldog. I've
experience a
seen that.
life that I would not wish upon anyone, but he deserves what he gets. Because what it boils down to for me.
I seen that on your favorite YouTuber's channel. Ticker Tucker Ticker with a big dicker.
Is this.
And it's
Austin,
Richard. Look at
will
here.
never walk through that door again.
Even
and never give me a hug. This morning was the first day I woke up with a feeling of peace, comfort that I haven't experienced in 14 months. And I felt Austin give me a hug.
Let me see if
he told me, Pops.
I'm Tanya Iser, a senior investigative reporter with WFA outside the Collin County Courthouse. This afternoon, both sides rested after 3.5 days of testimony in the trial of Carmelo Anthony. Anthony, who is charged with murder, did not take the witness stand. And if convicted, he faces a punishment
maybe more than just steal, smart mouth.
range of 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Throughout the trial, Anthony's attorneys have argued he acted in self-defense, and prosecutors have portrayed the stabbing as an unprovoked attack. Attorneys are now working through the jury instructions, including whether jurors will be allowed to consider the lesser charge of manslaughter, which carries a punishment range of 2 to 20 years in prison. Closing arguments are expected tomorrow morning. After that, the
35
case
years
will go
to
to the
me
jury.
wasn't
The
enough.
judge has also instructed jurors to bring an overnight bag, and if they do not get a verdict by Tuesday evening, they will be sequestered in a hotel while deliberations continue. I'm Tanya.
Explaining the rules. Our Lori Brown telling us that any outburst, a person will be held in contempt. So just kind of, letting them know what the rules are, just so that, they have rules in place and they want people to follow, those rules.
It says here, Lori is telling us, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder. That is the verdict from the jurors, according to Lori Brown, who is in the courtroom.
Okay, we're hearing that first. Guilty of murder. We are finding that out.
And I think Russell Wilson, with the brevity of this deliberation, I don't think that's a surprise to many people.
Yeah, it's not a surprise to the people that were following the actual trial, because we knew that the defense once arrested his case yesterday. And then obviously the prosecution rests their case. The jury deliberated, and, they found.
Yesterday, had a death threat. This morning, had multiple emails, text, threatening me, calling me all sorts of names.
Metcalf says even today he's received death threats and has previously endured doxing of his personal information and multiple swatting calls to his house from people who he says have tried to villainize Austin and the family.
I would hope they take a look in the mirror. And if you have children, and if it was your child who was murdered, would you like
They don't care about that.
dragging his name through the mud?
They don't care about
we
that.
finally moved from California.
Tonight, a guilty verdict in.
Let me see if I
Tucker?
can find a video.
Melania, I need to speak with Donald. It's important.
He's inside. He saw you on the camera. He said, and I'm quoting, "Tell the bow tie I'm not home."
I can see him through the window, Melania. He's on the couch, eating McDonald's, looking right at me.
I'm not here.
Donald, you went on Truth Social and
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a plate of half chow mein, half super greens, orange chicken, and kung pao?
Beef and cheddar sandwich, fries.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, there we go. So, starting from the beginning, April 2nd, I
Just so we don't get
received a phone call from Coach Jackson and said, Jeff, all I know is Austin has been stabbed. I asked him where. He said Kirkendall Stadium. I immediately hung up the phone, and I made it there in about 4.5 minutes. When I arrived, it was pretty chaotic. A lot of police cars, a lot of people. I ran through probably 10 different officers who tried to stop me. When I did reach the track, the scene that I saw was my son, Austin, and they had a C machine on it, which actually it automatically pumps on your chest. But when I saw him, I knew he was gone. I prayed for a miracle. And as soon as that happened, I asked the ambulance, the EMTs, what hospital they were taking him to. And once they instructed me where they were going, I directed my attention to finding Hunter. And they said he was taken to the locker room in the field house. So I proceeded to go run over there. And I found Hunter, who was
shaken up, I'm sure.
Uncontrollably out of control, bawling, emotional wreck. So I have to try to gather him and maintain myself. And all we do is we pray. And I tell him, let's go. I'm taking you to the hospital. You're riding with me. And we get in the car and we're praying. Because I am praying for a miracle at this point, because I know my son was gone. But we get to the hospital.
It is.
But I
think people need
I have to make the phone call to his mom when we were driving to inform her to meet us at the hospital.
I think everybody should watch this, right? Because this guy is not acting in like a revengeful manner. He is trying to handle this very level-headed, the best that he can. I mean, you lose your kid. I mean, think about that for a minute. I would go batshit crazy if somebody did something like this to one of my kids. They would be putting a tag on my toe. I promise you. I ain't got to convince y'all of that. Most of you'd be the same way. When it comes to your children, this guy held it together very, very well. Hats off to him. I feel bad.
By this time, the word's getting out to certain family members.
No doubt.
Certain people are showing up at the hospital. Takes probably, I'd say, a good 10 minutes before the doctors come in.
Any parents.
I knew what was fixing to be said. I knew by the look on their face that Austin had passed away. And they confirmed that. That very second, Hunter spun out of control. And it took 5 officers to get him under control. We had to admit him and get him sedated. And then at that point, they wouldn't allow us to see our son because now it is a crime scene. So they have to process the body. So for over 2 hours, we can't even see Austin. And by this time, a huge crowd of students, parents, friends is overflowing this hospital. It is so touching and so moving. And we're all so distraught over the news of Austin's passing. That moment, I became totally numb and went into what I call survival function mode.
Yeah, clearly amazing, Dad.
I had to find and buy burial plots, funeral homes, arrangements, so many things that had to be done. And I needed to stay focused. That very first night, our church held an impromptu vigil. Our church holds 1,500 people at Hope Fellowship. It was overflowing. There was over 1,700 people that showed up that night. Very touching. An outpouring from the community, friends, family, even people who didn't know us showed up in support. And I spoke that night about who Austin was. He was a leader, on and off the field. He touched people's hearts in ways others couldn't. Man. He was loved by so many, and so many loved him.
Let me see if I can
I told a story that night.
Picture. I want to show you what kind
and
of.
I told the story when I was diagnosed with cancer in my cancer group. They asked us, define success. And went around the room, and most people, some of the common stuff, I'd like a big house and car and, a lake property or whatever. But when it came my turn, I had to, my success will be judged by how many people show up at my funeral. What do I mean by that? Well, when you go to a funeral, the people that attend are someone, hopefully, you have touched their life in a positive way.
No doubt, Cop Top. Yeah, man.
Because one thing about people, they don't remember
Dude, I
how big
watched
your house
this.
was,
I watched this
what kind of car you
yesterday, and I was just thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, this man.
drove, how big your bank account was, where you guys, because people always remember how you make them feel.
We'll have a Baconator, a son of Baconator, and 5 little cheeseburgers all the way with a toasted Italian nightclub.
They'll never forget. Because you haul behind the Hershey, you ain't taking nothing with you, except for what you leave behind. And what you leave behind is your legacy. Austin's legacy will live forever. I myself will make sure of it. Not only myself, but many others. His mother, his brother, family members, communities. We've set up a scholarship in his name at Memorial High School. For every year, there's going to be the Austin Metcalf Scholarship. We want to give back. We want to help people. That's who Austin was. Austin helped people up. He inspired. He promoted. He encouraged younger classmen, his teammates. He was always there, always believing in them. There were so many kids who came up and spoke that night about how Austin touched people's hearts. And that's what you leave, is your legacy, your footprints on hearts. That's how people will be remembered. And for anyone who knew Austin, who loved Austin, that memory will be carried on in their hearts forever. I know I'll say his name from the highest mountaintops.
How this
till
man
dad
can
died.
sit here and talk like this and not be outraged and like lash back out at the community who is saying the things about his child that they are is beyond me, because I'm going to tell you, I can't sit here and say I wouldn't be a different person.
And it was probably the very worst day of my life. When I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 10, 11 years ago, I thought I was going to die. They told me I had a 50-50 chance. I told God I can't die because I have 2 boys that need their father. I would go through cancer a million times again if I could spend 5 minutes with Austin.
Yeah, me
When
too,
you're faced
Dad.
with your
I
own
woke up this morning
immortality,
and I seen that
it
motherfucker
reprioritizes
pissing
your
on
life.
his kid's grave.
All of a sudden, things that were
And
important
it pissed
don't
me the
matter.
fuck off.
You really start to really find out what's important in life. It's the people who love you, the people you love,
That's what I woke up to this morning. That right there. That pissed me
and those
off.
who support you when you're down.
That's Austin
You should never,
Metcalf's grave. And this
ever
idiot is literally pissing on it. This kid
put
has
someone
done
down
nothing
or
to
look down
him.
upon someone unless you're giving your hand to help them up.
They
And
need
that's
to
who Austin
find this
was.
motherfucker right here and charge him for desecration of a grave. That's outrageous. Why somebody would do that, I have no fucking idea. Then you get these clips, white people don't come outside. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Austin was always the helping hand, the big brother, the protector, the leader.
Yeah, decimation of a
He
grave.
led by example.
Yep.
And he was humble. He didn't even want to join National Honor Society, even though he had a 4.0, even though he was extremely smart. I told him it looks good on your college scholarship application.
It's retarded.
All he thought about was football.
It's animal.
But when he got up between those white lines,
And you know, I don't like stereotyping people, but that is fucking outrageous, man.
even I wouldn't want to go up against him. He turned.
Yeah, no, they disrespect the dead in their rap songs and all that shit. They kill one another, and it's the white people that's holding them back.
Into controlled rage and chaos. He was a disruptor on defense. He led that team by example. Friday Night Lights. Long story short, Friday Night Lights was about Midland, Odessa, Permian. I'm from Louisville. We played Permian every year in the playoffs, the semifinals. They beat us every time. Yes, I'm still upset. Stop. Because now they got movies and shows made about them, but it is what it is. Football was a way for Austin to take out some of his frustrations, and he'd work in the weight room, and he'd go do drills by himself and run heels, and he really perfected his craft.
No doubt, smart mouth.
He was
no doubt.
an unbelievable player. And I know I sound biased because I'm his father, but his numbers don't lie. Go look him up. One game he had 24 tackles. I know. It's unbelievable. He also had interception, fumble recovery. The kid was amazing. And I know there's only a 1% chance of you ever actually making it to the NFL, but deep in my heart, I really thought that kid had a chance. I know for sure many colleges were already interested in him, D1, for the linebackers. And we were already talking about NIL money and how we're going to, make sure you're set for life.
We'll have a Baconator, a son, a Baconator, and 5 little cheeseburgers all the way.
With a toasted Italian nightclub. Benny.
I had no idea
Dad,
his life
you
was
know
going to be
what
so
you
short.
meant. Just let it go. Don't even interact.
I'll never
They
understand
don't
why.
deserve the
But you're supposed to trust
energy it
God,
takes,
and
to
I
be
do.
honest with you.
I don't understand his plan, but I have to lean to him for understanding. And to be honest, I will not understand until I sit beside Austin and ask God, why did you have to take him so soon? Because I can't come up with the answer.
This 2.5
No parent
hours, I'm going to skip to where he's
should have ever
talking
buried their
about
child.
he asked.
I'm going to tell you right now, Charleston White, we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have internet. We actually had to talk to people, conversate. We actually wanted to go outside, not stay inside and play games. Our internet, that was this thing called a Britica encyclopedia
no
set
doubt,
that you had
no
that you did
doubt,
your homework
Ray,
out of. Or you could go down to the library and use the Dewey Decimal System to look up a book. None of you kids know that. You kids can't even read cursive nowadays, so they don't teach it. They took God out of school. Look what happened. Do you think it's a coincidence that society started to decay even faster when we start removing things that are actually good foundations? God, family, friends.
If it
job.
ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know why they
That's
did
my
that.
pecking order. May not be for everybody's, but it's mine, and I own it. Now, some people will ask you, do you know Jeff Metcalf? Yeah. What do you think about him? He's an asshole. Or he's the greatest guy. He'll give you the shirt off his back. So they both can be right. Because I give what you get. Or what you give, or to me, I'll give you back. So am I racist? Yeah, I'm racist against assholes. I don't like them. I could care less about the color of your skin. We all bleed the same color. The mental capacity of others sometimes astonishes me. At a certain age, let's just say 40, 50, I would assume, and this is my fault for making assumptions, that you would have common sense, that you'd be intelligent. You could make a difference between right and wrong. Nah. Ain't got nothing to do with age, ain't got nothing to do with color. It's up to you, who you want to be. You chart your course. Guess what? It's not going to go the way you think. Promise. If there's a person who exists on this entire planet who's never had a problem, one, in their life, please step up. I want to meet you because I want to know how you did that. It's not possible. Life is not easy. God doesn't say that. God says there's going to be trials and tribulations. God says there's going to be people out there who will deceive you.
I wanted
people out there.
I should have marked.
If we want to go back old
he was talking
culture,
about his dad or about
you people hang your hat on the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Let me make one up. Y'all can make let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such a little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night. Because he's going to have many nights to think about what the fuck he did. I forgave him, so I don't carry the hate and the anger. so I don't get ate up like cancer and kills you from the inside. It's like me drinking poison and hoping it kills you. Doesn't work that way. You've got to let that stuff go or it will kill you. It will eat you up inside. So when people ask me, how can you forgive him? If I didn't, I would have wound up killing him and going to prison myself. That's how stupid people, when you get irrational, because you can't make a good decision if you're emotional. Emotion and intellect do not mix. If you're emotional, you can't come up with a logical solution. Doesn't work.
Watermelon felon. That's pretty
You
good.
have to be level-headed. You have to be clear of mind. When you become emotional and you make decisions, things can go very wrong. And you better hope there's a way out for you. Because some situations, as we all know, they don't turn out well if you make the wrong choice. Or you could just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, in front of the wrong person. And I'm not just talking about Austin. Just go look, just visit Chicago for a weekend. How many shootings do they have? And they have gun laws. Woo-hoo! How's that working out for you guys? If you told me after 9/11 that New York would have a Muslim mayor in a sanctuary city, I would tell you you're crazy because we were all gung-ho, USA, all the way, patriotic, love my country. And now look where we're at. How do we get there?
Social
Who's
media.
responsible for our youth?
Social fucking media.
They're the leaders of tomorrow. What are you doing to prepare them? How are you teaching them? What are you showing them? When you act out and your kids see you, they think that's an appropriate behavior. They assume it's okay because mommy and daddy do it.
Yep. Must be commercial time.
All you people out there, all your little bots, all your little phone calls, all your death threats, and that who's that big fag dude from Arizona? Lady Gaga, gag on something? I don't know his name. Mr. Like, guess what? Go suck a dick, dude. That's your favorite hot. Tiffany Billions, you look like a fucking water buffalo. We're gonna start hurling insults. We can go back and forth. But here's the deal. I'm not, because you know what? You're not worth the sweat off my fucking balls. You don't live rent free in my head. You don't get a second of me at all. You want to find me? You know where to find me. You think I'm scared? Underestimate me. That'll be fun. I'm not some tough guy, dude. Nah. I'm a real guy. You want to fuck around and find out, as y'all say? If you feel froggy,
this dude's
jump.
fed to fuck up.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like the landing. I have God on my side. I fear nothing. I can walk through the valley of death. I don't give a shit. I have the protection of God's armor. My statement.
Imagine having to even say all that because your son has been stabbed. The death threats to him, I don't get. He's the victim in this. But, you know, people have a funny way of trying to spin shit because a kid got 35 years for taking somebody's life. And in reality, he should have got life in prison. That other kid's not coming home. And I know y'all in the comments feel the same way. It's astonishing to me. If the roles were reversed, this place would still be on fire. That's a fact.
Fully get to read because it was censored.
Sweet.
Them trying to bring on a race war.
1 second.
Them trying to bring on a race war is a situation that they really don't want. They think they do. But like I said earlier, if they fucking start attacking white people for being white and white people start fighting back, it's not going to be these little pussies out here in the street. I promise you, there's some good old boys that are just waiting. They're just sitting back. They don't shoot sideways. Y'all know this. I'm not telling you nothing you don't know. Why they think that they want a race war is beyond me, because look, here's the reality of it. When the white kid went to the Carolinas and went in that church and killed them black people up there, white people were outraged behind that. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We are all human. We need
So I was
one
saying
another,
it was
regardless of how
I had
people
written
look
this
at and realize life and take it. We all need one another to survive here. It is really the rich against the poor, and the rich are using social media to control poor people. When you start acting out and lashing out like that, it just shows me that you don't have the comprehension that it takes to function in society, really. You think you want a race war. Bro, it's not what you think it is.
And made a video.
White people's never stood up. White people to this day have never stood up and drew the line. When they draw that motherfucker, it's going to be bad. Leave people alone. I'm begging you, leave people the fuck alone.
That I wanted played. And they said that you could play it, but you couldn't have any audio, which irritated me. Then
Grab another Red Bull. I'll be right back.
Hey, Jinx.
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a
crunchy meal?
Totally. 2 tacos. Don't forget the...
Can you bring up the video? And yeah. Okay.
No.
I am not okay. I'm barely getting by.
Will be. So anyway, this video is something I put together.
Losing sleep at night.
People always said I was an absentee father.
Okay. I'm hanging on the rails. So if I say I'm fine, just know I learned to hide it well. I know I can't be the only one who's holding on for dear life. But God knows, I know when it's all said and done, I'm not okay, but it's all gonna be all right.
I'm already past here. I'm on the downside. I know that. I've already lived more than where I'm going to live next. I've lived a good life, I think. I've lived a blessed life because many times and many opportunities, I could have had the opportunity to go down the wrong path. By the grace of God, somehow he would interject someone into my life or change my job, which I didn't think I should, but he did. So things would happen. And I can look back now in my life and go, look, man, here are the tack points of where God interjected and either saved you or moved you to go the right direction. But when you're going through it, you can't see it. It's like being in the middle of a storm. Blowing, rain, it's all crazy. But once you get through the storm, everything breaks and it clears up and you can see. That's kind of like what life is. It really is. Because when I was 18, which is the same age as my son now, Hunter, I was 18, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I knew everything, and my parents were dipshits. I was so amazed by the age 26 about how smart they had become. Yeah. And God's repaying me right now for the shit I did to my parents, to my son. I'm getting it shoved right back into my face now. And it's the hardest thing in the world now as a parent to want to try to help and fix. And they're at that age where they're starting to fly out of the nest. And you don't want them to go because you still want to protect them from the world. But that's not the natural progression of life. I'm losing 2 sons. One I can go visit locally. The other one, he's going out of state. He's leaving. He's going to school. He's going to make something of himself. Hunter Metcalf will not be known as Austin's brother. Hunter Metcalf is a man all by himself. And I say man, because I will show you. When Hunter had to step up and give a victim impact statement, I was truly worried. I didn't know if he could make it. He did better than me, which is what I always want. He remained calm. He stayed in control of his emotions. He spoke with a monotone voice, didn't get too high, too low, and was respectful. But what happened was, I saw a boy walk up to that witness stand. But what I saw leave was a man. He showed me, Dad, he taught me. I know how to do this. I know how to speak. I know how to communicate.
Good night. Good night. Hey, I'm exhausted, so I'm just gonna go to bed. So
I'll let this video play. I'm sorry.
I'm on the way home now, so that's good. I'm so tired. I'm gonna hit the hay, but just text me that you get home safe and that you're feeling better tomorrow or something like that. Right? You know what I mean? But it means a lot to me today. I'm always here for you. Okay? See you tomorrow. Hope you do well. You will. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night, Tate. Hope you had fun tonight. And yeah, all right. Good night. I miss you. I miss you a lot. Bye bye, Tate. Oh, mother. Good night, Tate. Go safe. Good night, love bug. Good night, Teddy Bug. Just kidding. Miss you too. Yeah. Good night, Teddy. Thank you for the song, especially in the note. Really, really, really appreciated that. And you the GOAT. Love you. Good night, Teddy Bug. Good night. Good night, Teddy Bug. Good night, Tate. Love you. Miss you too. And go to bed. Love you. Good night. Good night. I love you so much.
Hunter Metcalf will accept the posthumous diploma in honor of his brother, Austin Metcalf.
But I want you to look at that quote. I want you to read it with me. A lie is temporary, but the truth lasts forever. I want to say that one more time so it's loud and clear for everybody to hear and understand. A lie is temporary, but the truth lasts forever. Do you know where I found this quote? I know the person who's looking at me right now does. I appreciate it, Mr. Drew Anthony, off your Facebook page. How poetic justice is served. You just threw up a big softball and knocked it out of the park. Thank you for making it so easy for me. So you can live
that was that
with your
kid's,
lie if you want to, but my truth is forever. Just like the fact your son is a convict and a killer. Forever.
We'll have a Baconator, a son, a Baconator, and 5 little cheeseburgers all the way with a toast.
Forever's a long time. What's your master plan, Mr. Anthony? To use your son as income and soak up as much money playing victim to line your pockets and then abandon him when he's at sentencing or victim impact? You just left him up there by himself?
Yeah, this is it.
Amazing. Amazing. What about you, Drew? What kind of father are you? You want to talk about what kind of father? All right, let's talk about what kind of father you are. Let's talk about your arrest. Let's talk about your warrants. Oh, was it drugs? Coke? You did? Tell me some other shit. Let's pull it up. Because I'm welcome every one of you to pull up my criminal history. Someone who tried to make up some bullshit saying I'm a sexual assault person. Guess what? If you're convicted of sexual assault in Texas, you have to register. Please check the registry. Please check my background in criminal history. It's not there. You tried to spin a narrative to make me look bad because you look bad already by yourself. You fuck up all your own. I don't need to help you. I hope you're proud of yourself, bro. I hope you go home and tell your 3 little kids Your brother's in prison because he's a dumbass and he stabbed someone.
Who's GoFundMe, Ram? They already got 500 and something thousand fucking dollars. They went and bought a home and a car. If that's who you're talking about, Camelo's parents.
Tell me how you're going to parent the other ones. Tell me how you're going to explain to them
So
that
they were trying to
their
get
brother
more?
is a killer. You're going to have family reunions?
Damn.
You're going to leave an empty chair for him? Are y'all all going to wear the striped suits or an orange jumpsuit in remembrance? I don't know.
Good.
Your name will be forgotten in a matter of weeks or months or a year. But Austin's name, that lives on forever. It's a legacy. You know what they put in the yearbook? The cover of the yearbook said, "More than just." And you open it up, and the very first page is Hunter Metcalf carrying his brother's jersey of the first home game, running out of the tunnel. Probably one of the most emotional moments I've ever seen watching him play football, because it was the first time he was not on the field with his brother. I can't imagine the mental fortitude that young man has, because there is no way I could have done or played a down, much less a season. The amount of pressure he probably felt, because he slid over to take Austin's position. They played together, inside, outside. Now Hunter takes over, he's inside, he leads the team, he wins. He has the most tackles in the district and had to miss a game due to a concussion. He gets all the honors. He's all district, he's this, he's that, he's team captain, he's Austin 2.0. But he's still Hunter Metcalf, not Austin's brother. He will make a name for himself, just like Austin did. But when they come running on that field, him holding that jersey, and all eyes are on him. The whole world is watching. Made every news channel. Do you think we like the spotlight? Do you think I want to be here? I'm forced into this position. I didn't sign up. I didn't ask for my son to get murdered. But I have to deal with it in a constructive, positive way, because I still have to be a role model for Hunter. I still have someone who depends and counts on me. I can't let him down. It's the same way I feel about God. I don't want to let him down. But will I fail? Yes, sometimes I do. We all do. But do the best job you can, man. Be present for your kids.
I'm literally in tears over here, man.
You can't get back time. Time is something. Can you make time? Can you spend time? Is there enough time? Is there a lot of time? Time is something that's very intangible,
man.
But one thing about time is it doesn't stop. Even though I felt like it stopped April 2nd, 2025. My life was forever changed. And I've had to deal with that. Megan's life has forever changed. It pains me to see the pain in her eyes. And it really pains me to see Hunter go through what he has to do and be as strong as he is. It's unbelievable.
It's just living day to day.
One of the best times, and this is a God thing. So we had the same hunting lease for 16 years. Since my boys were 2 years.
We'll have a Baconator, a son, a Baconator, and 5 little cheeseburgers all the way with the
years old. They had been going to hunt and go out, and we'd watch wildlife and look at deer and turkeys and see the cows, and and we lived outdoors. We'd sit underneath at night at the stars, and we had an app on the phone where you could pull it up and it would tell you the constellations. And I taught them about stars and how to navigate and how sailors did it to sail the seas. And I just taught them, this is the Milky Way, that's Orion's belt. I spent time with them. Time is the most important thing in life, because you can't get it back. Because once it's gone, it's gone. It's like your kids grow up once. Don't miss it. Don't be absent. Don't work too hard because you think you're providing. You know what they want? They don't give a shit about their new clothes Are there fancy Xbox games or what? Well, they may think that, but the truth of the matter is, when you look back on it and you see the time you either wasted or you spent it well. Now, everybody in life will die with a regret. You just try to die with as few regrets as possible. The one regret that I know, I will not have anything as far as what type of father I was. I don't regret it. I spent time with my boys. I loved my boys. I taught my boys. I tried to make my boys go to church when they were really young, but they fought me. And I was arguing with God because, like, I'm trying every day, God, but they're not listening. So God works in funny ways. I told you this earlier. All of a sudden, when the kids in school and his friends were going to church on Wednesday night, all of a sudden it became cool. Cool. If I can't do it, God says, hold my beer. I got this. Watch this. And he arranges it. So God is introduced to their life through their friends. I recently saw one of the counselors who led the small group with Austin and Hunter. And he told me about the time he needed someone to step up and lead. And guess who was the first to raise his hand? Austin always wanted to be first. He was firstborn. You could say he was the big brother. He always had Hunter's back. Hunter always had his too. But they were only a few minutes apart. But Austin always took that lead role. It was built inside of him. It was manifested that way. I do believe I will take some credit. I tried my best to instill values and morals and teach him about life and what it was to be a man. And he was taken. I didn't mean to get off the story, but we were talking about the Deerleys and them going hunting with me for the last 16 years. Well, what happened was the landowner reached out to us right before we were going to make our next payment for the following year. We still had 2 months left on the lease we had paid for, but he informed us that we had to get everything off the property, that he was going to sell the property, and we had to get everything off by March 31st. Anything left behind was going to be property of the new owners. Well, I had just had a complete shoulder replacement. So I'm one-armed. I'm no good to help. So I have to rely on my friends and my family to go down there and get as much stuff as we can. Because we have 16 years worth of stuff. And I'm talking blinds, feeders, four-wheelers, smokers, you name it. We could live out there. If there was an apocalypse, that's where I'd go. So we go this very last weekend. We all know it's a goodbye. The irony of it is unreal.
Yeah, Justin, very strong, Dad.
That hunt is probably the best hunt in my entire life. I wish I could be like Groundhog Day. And I could go and just relive it. It's a great story. It's opening weekend of turkey season. We go out the first day.
You could tell he's suffering.
No, I'm calling. We got gobbles, but they're all henned up and they're not coming. So I tell the boys, hey, we're going to have to get out of the pop-up. We're going to have to like go chase birds and see if we can call them in. So we get out and we start walking. And Austin told me the night before, he said, Dad, I'd really like to shoot a pig because I've never shot a pig. I really want a pig. And even though I haven't shot a turkey, I really would like to shoot a pig. I said, well, they're mostly nocturnal, but I brought the ARs with the thermals. We'll hog hunt at night. Okay. So we get up out of the pop-up and we start working our way down the creek. And we come up upon a field. And about 300 yards across the field, there are 6 hogs that walk out. Austin turns to me and says, Dad, can we shoot them? I said, well, all we have is shotguns. And no. What do we do? I said, well, there's only one alternative here that's left. You're going to have to run all the way back to the cabin and then grab the rifle and run all the way back. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Austin's 6 foot, 215.
Bam.
Doing track drills to increase his speed and was running a 4.7. I don't know how, but the cabin is over a half mile. This boy shows back up in 15 minutes. And I'm like, what? And he's breathing hard, he's sweating. I was like, just take a breath. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. These hogs can't see very well, but they can smell. We're going to stay downwind, and we're going to move down this fence line. And I bet you they're going to come across this field, and they're going to go to this creek, and that's where we're going to intercept them. Okay. So we start moving. They start moving. We get within 200. Dad, can I shoot one? No, not yet.
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a plate of half chow mein, half greens, orange chicken, and kung pao?
We get within 100. Dad, they're close. Can I shoot one? No. Follow me. Be quiet. It's about patience. Don't rush. We get 45 yards away. I said, come here. Put your gun on this fence post. Look at me. Take a deep breath. Take your time. Slowly pull the trigger. So we step back, me and his brother, and we're watching. There's 6. I said, shoot the biggest one on the left. Boom! I see legs going up. Me and Hunter are yelling at him, reload, reload, because there's 5 more running around. And he's like, I got him, I got him. I'm like, reload. So he's trying to chamber a shell. We're looking down this path, and these pigs are crossing. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot 1. 5 goes across, then he shoots. And I'm like, he goes, I think I missed that one. Yeah, it's okay. Let's go see what you got. We got down there and we gave each other the biggest hug. And he was so proud. I know a lot of people don't like guns and don't like hunting, and that's okay. That's I respect your opinion. But my boys, they know how to hunt, fish, use a knife. They can survive. I taught them a lot of life skills.
Brother, if I can,
that I hope they never have to use.
If I can tell you anything, Justin, do as much with them as you possibly can. Even if it's just riding bikes and whatever. I don't know what your finances are, but that's one thing I can hold my head up proud about is I took my kids everywhere with me. I enjoyed it. Matter of fact, yesterday I sent Danny a picture where me and her was off eating at Waffle House. I was like, I miss these times. She texts me back. She's like, Dad, I miss riding in the truck with you till I fell asleep and you carrying me. And she knew what to say. You know what I mean?
But if they do, they
all
do know
the
how.
time you can, man.
This is a picture of a place on our lease. The very first day I took them
That's
fishing.
what's up.
I had the same exact picture made into a necklace when I had cancer. And it said Metcalf Strong on the back with this laser on the front. Sort of like a dog tag type thing. And I sold those to help pay for my treatments and everything. I still have some, but this picture will forever be ingrained in my heart. So we spent many years in the woods hunting. I remember the boys when they were small, they'd help me, and they were my eyes. Dad, there's a deer. Be quiet. Dad, when do we get a gun? When do we get to shoot? They're 5. I said, maybe when you're 8. Thinking, that's 3 years. They'll forget. No. 8th birthday rolls around. Dad, where's our rifles? Yeah. Remember when I said 2 of everything? Yeah. 2 of everything. I don't even get to go buy 2 guns for myself. So went out and got them rifles. Took them out there, taught them gun safety, taught them how to operate a firearm with proper safety, understanding how it works, understanding how to clean it, understanding how to take it apart. Matter of fact, I've showed Hunter so much now, he can disassemble my Glock with his eyes closed and put it back together with his eyes closed. Because I tell people, oh, I'm a good shot. Really? You shoot paper targets? Yeah. Oh, okay. Has anybody ever shot at you? What? Yeah. Do me a favor. Do a 50-yard sprint. Stop, and then pull your trigger 3 times. Let's see how your grouping is. going to the range only gives you muscle memory. It doesn't teach you how to handle a stressful situation. If you're not trained, if you don't know, you panic.
Yeah, no,
you die. Not my kids. Hunter almost became as good a shot as I am. Now, Austin, he was a little more challenged, and Hunter used to rising. It was funny. But Hunter, he wasn't first. Austin always want to be first. And I'm sitting in a deer stand this past year on a new place that's foreign to us. And I'm by myself. And if you have Facebook on your phone, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It will pop up with like memories from, whenever. So I'm out there hunting. It's the first hunting season I've had without Austin. It's December 30th. I can remember it well because my phone pops up. Memory. And it's the memory of the day that Austin shot his first buck. And I have it videoed. And I do an interview with him. I thought I had misplaced the video because I looked for it and never could find it. But it popped up that day while I'm hunting. And at that time, I look over to my right. I see a cardinal. Now, I know not everyone may believe this, but I do. Cardinals are a sign for people that come visit you that have passed on. I felt his presence. Every deer in that county was safe at that moment because I couldn't see through my scope because of the tears. This is me and him. I still have that in my office on the wall with the empty casing, written the date. He was so proud of himself, but I was more proud. My boys meant everything. We love to go fishing together.
My heart goes out.
We have a very good friend.
It really does. I don't know the man.
Tony and Corey Vincent run.
You could feel his story.
Fishing guide service on Richland Chambers and Lake Whitney. Guaranteed guide service. No fish, no pay. You talk about salt of the earth people.
What can I get you to drink?
And a Coke.
And a Coke. And a Coke.
I'm at a Coke.
I just don't understand where all the hate for him comes, right?
They're true friends. Tawny, she lived 3 streets up from where I grew up. We all knew each other. When I talk about time and relationships, that's what I talk about. When this happened, Tony and Corey reached out and said, hey, we have cabins here. We want you to come stay. We know Hunter didn't get a turkey that day. We've got a hunt with a guide set up for you. I didn't ask for anything. These people just did it. What kind of people do you think they are? What kind of parents do you think they are? What kind of grandparents do you think they are? I can tell you. One's a hope that I can be just like them. They're good people. They're kind people. The world needs more kind people. If you can't find one, be one. You never know what a person's going through. It doesn't cost you 1 cent to smile. Friday nights, you talk about smiling. That is the epitome of life. That's my son who just made the game-winning interception, coming off the field to celebrate. This was my son. When they didn't win this game, he came to me and said, Dad, I tried my hardest. He was in tears. His passion was unbelievable.
You know, he could have made this interview bashing Camilla's parents. He really could have. And he didn't. He chose not to. He chose to talk about his son and how much he loved him. That really shows where this dude's head is at. I hope people calm the fuck down. They're the trolling by posting pictures, pissing on the grave. How disrespectful can you be? Show us what kind of fucking idiot that you really are. People like this are trash. That's animal behavior. That pissed me off this morning when I seen that. And I know, I mean, it would piss anybody
Everything
off.
he did, he had passion.
I would hope.
He never half-assed anything. He was all in. All in. Let's talk about that. When this tragedy occurred, Memorial High School decided they were going to dedicate the entire year. And the motto was all in Warriors. A stood for Austin. The 2 1s were the L's. That was his number 11.
I appreciate y'all
I
watching women.
standing for integrity. N standing for never quit. July 31st are my son's birthdays. July 31st, we had football parent player banquet and it to start the season to get us off. I had just come from the cemetery of spending 2 hours standing over Austin's grave, telling him how much we missed him, how much he meant to the team, and how much we need him. You're the 12th man now. So I show up at the auditorium thinking it's going to be just like any other parent football concert we've been to the previous 3 years. Boy, was I surprised. I was wrong. When they busted out this all-in motto and told what they stood for, and they had multiple friends of Austin come up and talk about who he was and what it meant. The last person to speak was Hunter. He explained what the N stood for. Never quit. Once again, I told you that boy is the strongest person I've ever seen in my life. And I don't say that because I'm biased. He stood up there after 5 of his buddies gave heart-jerking, tear-dropping testimonies.
We'll have a Baconator, son, a Baconator, and 5 little cheeseburgers all the way with a toasted Italian.
Of how Austin impacted their life and what he meant. Then it was Hunter's turn. I don't think I could have done it, but he did. Never quit. That's one thing about my boys. They never quit anything. I may not have been the perfect father, but I was a damn good one. He had a great brother. He had a great mom. All 3 of us worked together to help. All 3 of us grieve differently. All 3 of us feel the loss differently. There is no playbook to grief. There's no instructions. There is no time limit. Oh, you'll get over it. Oh, in time, you'll feel better. Anyone who says that, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. And go, did that hurt? No, it didn't. Don't tell me what you don't know. Me, Hunter, Austin, best hunt ever. We went to eat our favorite barbecue place. We'd stop. It's on 281. It's called Natty Flats. It has the world's biggest cedar rocking chair in the world, made, sitting out front, like 40, 50 feet. We've always eaten there. Boys love ribs. My cousin Kyle, who's hunted with me since I've taught him, Kyle was, before my kids were born, was asking me, can I go hunt with you? Can I go hunt with you? No, you're too young. Well, eventually I had to give in. I was more like a brother than a cousin. Kyle's my ride and die. If I need something, I can pick up the phone. He'll be here. If I need $10,000, he'll send it to me. Don't even ask why. I'll say I need you here. He gets in the truck and drives. Doesn't ask why. Just shows up. That's what our family's about. That's what I try to instill in our boys. Family. Family's after God. You do what you do for family. You take care of family. I don't know why God decided to take a part of my family. I'm supposed to be learning some sort of lesson, I'm sure. I'm being molded into something that I have no clue what it is. I'm still waiting to see the finished product. Because I have no clue. I should have been dead multiple times. Still here. I could have made wrong choices and been in prison. Every time, God put something in the way. God redirected my path. I can look back on my life now and see those tight points. But when you're 18, you think you have all the answers. I see so much of me in Hunter. He's already made me proud. And it's only going to continue. But I can't imagine, or nor do I even want to try to imagine, if I had a twin brother who was stabbed to death in my arms as I pray and put my hands on the hole to keep the blood from coming out. And he tells me, Dad. I saw his eyes roll back in his head. I saw his soul leave his body and mine went with him. How do you comfort a child who tells you that? Because it shattered me into pieces. And I've yet to put them all back together. They won't go back together the same. Three days before he was killed, he posted this on his X. Faith that God got me and my work will pay off. 3 days. He's gone. Greatest hunt ever. Gone. Graduation. Very touching. Almost surreal for me. For that, we're going to talk about Frisco ISD in a minute, but during that graduation ceremony, he got his diploma and he walked down and then he turned around and had to go back up and get his brother's diploma. The whole place erupted with applause, which turned into a standing ovation. Every single person in the arena for 30 seconds or more until Hunter made it back to his seat and sat down. Everyone stood and clapped. I can't even explain how I felt. It was bittersweet. I was so happy for Hunter and so proud. But at the same time,
sad too.
His brother should have been there sitting beside him, not the empty seat.
We'll have a Baconator, a son,
Man, I will
a
never eat a
Baconator,
Baconator
and 5
again.
little cheeseburgers all the way with a toast.
I'm so sick of that commercial.
Life isn't fair. You have to play the hand you're dealt sometimes. It sucks. Because if I have a 6'9" and I'm playing poker, you think I'm going all in? No. All in takes a whole new meaning. Everybody in the stadium had shirts, all in. I know many people will know this, some may don't. You know what this means? No, it's not a gang sign. If you have, any person has maybe a hearing impairment, this is sign language. This is, I love you. Anytime you see my boys in their pictures and they're together and they're doing this, it's not a gang sign. I taught them. This is what it means. I love you. So when you're on the field and you see me, just do that. You don't have to say nothing to me. Just acknowledge. Because I was saying, no one knew. I didn't have to tell anyone. I'm not looking for kudos. I'm not looking for recognition. I don't even want the damn spotlight on me.
I think that goes without saying.
We good?
No, you're good.
We're good. Okay. So I forgot where I was now, right? Well, we'll just move on to the next topic. This is what happens when you get brain fog. Tell them I love you. I remember. This past season, the team had something to play for, and a motto. And there's a young man. I'm not going to use his last name, but his name's Carson. Very good friend of Austin and Hunter's. Mine too. Probably one of the most respectful, well-mannered kids I've ever met in my life. His parents did an outstanding job. Kudos, Abby. To all you boys. Carson never played football. Played soccer. Our kicker transferred to Anna. So what's Hunter and Austin do? They tell Carter, hey, Carson, you need to come kick for us. Knowing Austin and Hunter, especially Austin, he got him to come kick. I'll never forget this moment. We were down. We had the ball. Less than a minute to play. We drive down the field. There's 4 seconds left on the clock. Carson, it's up to you, bro. It's about a 40-yard field goal. No chip shot, no gimme. If you're writing a movie, you couldn't script it any better. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm praying to God. Please let us get this victory. Ball snapped. Carson kicks it. I don't breathe. He goes through for the win. The eruption, the sheer emotion showed by them, every person on that field and in the stands. We all knew who else was watching. That was probably the highlight of the season for me, to watch those boys who worked so hard and sacrificed so much and loved Austin and laid it all out. Because we all dream about that moment if you play sports. You play basketball, the winning shot for the championship, 3, 2, 1, yeah, kicking the winning field goal as time runs out, team wins. As kids, we always do that, playing around, on the park, 3, 2, 1, and the crowd goes wild. Yeah, this was reality. This was real. This was happening in front of me. And I felt Austin's presence there watching as he smiled above us. He always called me Pops. It was cute because he had this little smirk. He'd be like, it's okay, Pops. I got this, Pops. The night after he was killed, I had a dream. It didn't last very long. I see Austin. And he's wearing his camo that we were hunting in. And he walks up to me and says, Pops, I'm okay. And I wake up. And I just bawl for hours. But he came to me and told me, I'm okay. And I said, I'm not. I was forever changed by that day. Not only me, but everybody in my family, everybody who knew him. And I want to talk about something that a lot of people miss and don't talk about. What do you think the effect, if you're a kid and you're in the bleachers and you witness a murder and your friend dies in front of you? Are you going to have PTSD? Do you need counseling? Is it going to affect you for the rest of your life? These are 16, 17-year-old kids. These are people who had to get up on the witness stand and tell the story again. Every one of them had to relive it. Most are in counseling. Most are still affected by it. It didn't just tear my family. It tore a community. I got letters and phone calls.
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a plate of half chow mein, half super greens, orange chicken, and kung pao?
From people who don't even know me, telling me I'm some sort of inspiration. No, I'm not. I'm a human being. That's God working through me. I am nothing special. I will never be able to replace Austin. I know that. What I'm learning to do and what my counselors taught me is I'm not learning to live without him. I'm learning to live for him. And she said, it's healthy for me to always speak about Austin. Some people think it's uncomfortable for me. It's actually not. I actually enjoy talking about Austin. It brings happy memories back to me. I don't look at the sad things. I don't remember him as the kid who got stabbed. I remember him as the kid who looks over and says, Dad, I think it's a buck. Can I shoot it? Memories can never be taken away. No one can ever steal them from you. Make as many as you can with your kids while you still can.
No fucking doubt.
Because one day, they're going to grow up. They're going to leave. I pray to God it doesn't wind up in the situation I'm in where they pass before you do. But there's no guarantees in life other than taxes and death. And hell, I know people that cheat death and taxes. So I don't know. What kind of commitment or what kind of job or how did you contribute to society while you were here? How'd you leave your mark? What were you known for? Ask your friends, ask your sons, ask your daughters. How do you see me? What do you think about me? Look yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself, who am I?
He'll make it.
Are you lying to yourself? Or can you look yourself in the eye? I've taught my boys about
His
respect,
boyfriend will make sure
integrity,
he's all right.
humility.
He
love,
gonna have one.
Kindness. There was a story that was once told to me. I'm sure many people have heard it. I'm going to condense it. About the old Indian chief talking to the young buck. He says, inside you lives two different animals. The wolf, the bear. And they both fight. And the boy asks, which one wins? Which one is hate, envy, jealousy, rage, others love.
I want to get to the
Bullshit.
part. See where he's talking about trying to do the vigilance and stuff.
Don't face me again. I don't blame him. So I walked out front. I asked the receptionist, please, I need to see Mr. Waltrip as soon as it's available. I'll sit down with Megan. For 20 minutes, we wait. Then his secretary comes down and says, I'm so sorry, Mr. Waltrip's not in the building today. What did he do? Run out and hide? Bullshit. He didn't want to face me again. I don't blame him because I'd have ripped his ass up, tore him apart, spit him out in small chunks. I told Dr. Mims what I'm going to do. When I walk out of here today, I'm going to contact every news reporter I know, every social media influencer, every person who will listen. And I'm going to scorch you and tell them that you denied my son a diploma. Let's talk about 3 weeks earlier. Oh, that's right. You had an elementary teacher who got arrested for taking pictures of little boys. You think Frisco ISD doesn't have egg on his face already? You tripped over this murder case time after time. You can't wipe your face. It's fucking stained. What's the motto? Know every child's name. You're the leaders? I'm supposed to trust you? Boy's funeral? You couldn't even offer your hand for a handshake. You're a grifting piece of shit.
There it is. This is it.
Courthouse. Charleston White, you look like a fucking crackhead. Even though you got money, you're the only smart person around. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo. Drew, you're just an idiot. If y'all want to talk to me, you know where I am. You never once apologized. You never once said you were sorry. You lied your ass off and tried to tell people you paid to offer to pay for my boy's funeral. You couldn't even offer your hand for a handshake. You're a grifting piece of shit.
Wow.
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a plate of half chow mein, half super greens,
That's
orange
crazy.
chicken, and kung pao?
Beef and cheddar sandwich, fries, curly fries.
Then for dessert?
Your character says it all. I don't have to say a damn word. Your actions speak for themselves. You and your little faggot bow tie? What the hell is that, dude? Maybe you and Chris King are butt buddies. Like y'all swap ties and shit. I don't know. He lives in Washington and he's lived here in Plano. He thinks he's some intelligent dude. Really? A 1985. Oh, I'm fucking impressed. Ooh. Look at me. I talk to my shit all day long. You put it on people so you can't see me. I think you have some serious insecurities, bro. I'm a lawyer. Who gives a fuck? You're not a very good one. Oh, I've done this, I've done that. You have to brag on yourself? You have to blow your own fucking horn? Really? You're not a man, dude. You just want attention. Maybe your parents didn't give you love when you were little. I don't know. I don't know why, the way you are, why. I can't explain it. And you know why? I don't give a shit. You're nothing to me. But yet, what'd you come up with the word? Metcalfians. I live in your head every day because you talk about me every day. Dude, thank you. I'm so flattered that you think about me. But I'm not your type. Sorry. I figure in a couple months you'll move on to the next hot topic. Or you'll have some legal crusade you can join maybe. Or lead possibly in your 89 South. And the only thing about you is I like your dog. That's about it. In your house? Dude, I'm not one to judge. But you don't live in some sprawling mansion. Really? Clean your house. You look like a fucking hoarder. Better yet, why don't you have Tiffany move in and y'all could live together and do a podcast? That would be fun. Stay out of my life. I'm not inviting you in. Go find somebody, go kick rocks in somebody else's backyard. Because if you come in my backyard, you won't be kicking rocks. I promise. To all the people that still want to come fuck with me, go ahead. I'm here. Guess what? I've taken every single blow you have given. And guess what? I'm still standing. I'm still here. All you irrelevant pieces of shit are going to dissipate. Like a piece of shit in my toilet. When I flush it, it just goes away. It's the same way, dude. You're all going to go away. Because guess what? Guess what? You can't make no more money. He's guilty. No more TikToks and debating. Oh my God, Mr. Metcalf is this. He did this. Oh my God, look, Carmelo's a little baby. He's innocent. No, he's fucking guilty. He's going to prison. Yay! Am I supposed to be excited? Guess what? I'm not. Because I don't promote and I don't accept. I feel sorry for that young man. He's fixing to live a living hell. Not that he doesn't deserve it. Yes, he does. But I'm human. And I'm sorry. I don't wish harm or ill will on anyone. It's not the Christian thing to do, man. It's not the way I was raised. It's not what I was taught. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I just know it is what it is. You be you, I'll be me. You stay in your lane, I stay in mine. I respect you, you respect me. We get along. We don't fight. We don't stab each other in the heart. If we have a disagreement, you know what? We can use words. And also, we can agree to disagree, and that's okay. But what's not okay is when you lose control and you do something that you can't take back. And now you're responsible. Let's open up for some questions, guys.
Okay. I know you've been under the gag order for the past year, and I really hope that this was some sort of release for you. 100% that's what this was for.
I'll be honest, it is. I'll be honest, it's very therapeutic. I will apologize for the colorful language. I try to refrain from that, but this is the first time in over a year that I'm able to speak. And I feel like the muzzle has been taken off, and I'm a racehorse at the Kentucky Derby in the gates, just waiting for it to open. And, you know, if I offended somebody tonight, I'm sorry, but get over it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. You certainly didn't offend me at any point. You have every right to say whatever you want to say. The first question I'm going to ask you, and this is a question that a lot of people have been asking me too, it's one of the biggest ones floating around, is do you plan on filing a civil suit?
To be honest, I can answer that question honestly. I do not know at this time what I'm going to do in the future. I was so focused on just getting through the trial. That was the biggest hurdle and the most weight on my shoulders and the most anxiety. So I really wasn't planning that far ahead. Is it an option? Yeah, I'll explore it. Is it worth my time? I don't know yet. Because realistically, I want to move on. I don't want to keep dragging things out. And if they spend all the money, there's nothing to get anyway. So I really don't care. Money's not going to bring my son back. Going after them, even if I bankrupt them or whatever, it's not going to bring my son back. And you have to learn forgiveness. And God's going to take care of the rest. Next question.
Okay, next question. And real quick for people who are requesting, if I don't know you, we're not accepting any requests. So if you want to ask a question, please ask in the purple pill.
What can I get you to drink?
And a Coke.
And a Coke. And a Coke.
I'm so sick of these fucking markets. I'm gonna have to upgrade. I really am. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Or if you're on Rumble, obviously ask on Rumble. Question is, they want you to talk about the swattings.
Oh my goodness, the swatting. Yeah. So the first time, first of all, there was a total of 6 for me and twice for Megan. The first time it happened to me, I was exiting physical therapy, which is only about 8 minutes from my house. I get to my car or my truck and I look down and I see my phone. It has 44 missed calls and 10 messages. My physical therapy only lasts for an hour. So I look down, I'm like, what in the world's going on? My phone rings. It's my son, Hunter. Dad, yeah, the police are looking for you. What? The police are looking for you. Where are you at? What do you mean? Call 911. What? Call them. Okay. So I call them. Mr. Metcalf? Yes. Are you at home? No, sir. I'm on my way home. I'll be there in 5 minutes. What's up? I turn the corner to my neighborhood and there are 25 police cars that have surrounded the entire block, basically. I have a park behind me. There's no houses, a creek and a park. There are snipers in the park. There are snipers in my neighbor's trees. There are snipers down the street. There are a SWAT team. I pull up. I tell them I can open my door from my phone with my security system. I have cameras. Look, there's nobody in my house. I can see inside. I can see outside. I can unlock the door for 30 seconds if you want to make entry. Yes, sir. Tell me when. Unlock. Boom. They come. They sweep the house. All this time, all my neighbors are freaking out because the presence of this many cops and lights and SWAT and snipers, it was like a scene from a movie. And it was crazy. So I'm like, what happened? Well, someone called and said there was a shooting inside your house. I was like, well, can we catch them? How do you What's the tech? So we'll try. Okay. That was the day, coincidentally, but I don't believe in coincidences, that I was kicked out of the press conference. Coincidence? Maybe. I don't think so. Then it continued. Second time, same thing. Oh my God. I think they brought the cavalry. Nuts. Third time. At least now they call me. Are you home? Yes. Okay, we're outside. Come outside. There's 8, 9 cop cars, and I have to go outside and talk to them, show them I'm okay. Third, fourth, fifth time, now we're on first name basis. I tell, hey man, next time y'all call, I have donuts and coffee ready. Cool. All right. It's becoming comical. The last time, as they were here, the person who swatted called me and I showed them the phone. Look, the number generates from the UK. This is how it works. It's real simple, folks. VPN, onion router, onion server. It doesn't matter. There are so many ways. Even I, myself, Mr. Old, don't know shit about tech, could do it. You can't find me. It bounces everywhere. You can't get the IP address. They trace it back to UK in Britain. So what do? They have to send it over to the Britain police to handle it. You think, what do they do with it? Okay. They can't catch them. 6 times. And I think Buffalo Face said I did it to myself. Really? How did you get that fat? You did it to yourself. That's how you got fat. How I get swatted? Your little piss-at disruptors? Your little army of people? Maybe it was your Black Panther friends. Ooh, y'all are so fucking tough. You talk a big fucking game, but really at the end of the day, you ain't shit. I'd scrape you off the heel of my boot. And normally, I don't normally attack people like this, but I have been cooped up and caged up in this anger. And this is something I'm trying to work on. I need to develop it and funnel it into a more constructive way. But tonight is the one time I'm going to allow myself. It's okay. Tonight, I'm going to allow myself to say what I really want to say. Because most of the time I don't say what I want to say because it's not correct. Just because you think something doesn't mean you believe it. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it a fact either. Because all you believed, Carmelo was innocent. Newsflash, guilty, prison. You were wrong. Admit it. But no, what do you do now? Oh, there was no black jurors. You know why? Because you can't be unbiased, you dumb shits. If you answer the question, I can't send a black man to jail because he's black, you're not getting on the jury. You're so unintelligent, you can't even fill out a form correctly. You don't even know who your fucking daddy is because 78% of you don't have your father in the home anymore. You got baby mamas running around with 8 kids so they can get EBT cards to feed you all. You think I'm being racist? No, I'm being real. Because they ain't only black people. White people do the same shit. I'll call them out just as hard as I'll call you out. Anybody who doesn't work, who wants free government handouts, who wants to live in a socialistic society, move to fucking Russia. This is America. Be respectful of this country. We have many people who have fought and died for this country so you can run your mouth. Thank a veteran. They're the ones who lay their ass on the line for you, who sacrifice for you and this country. I didn't serve. I was not fortunate enough to. I wish looking back in my life, I wish I would have. But at the time when I was that age, my life was not altogether. But those people who sign up voluntarily to defend your rights so you can run your mouth, you show them respect. You don't kneel for the national anthem. You respect that flag. You don't like this country? Guess what? You're free to leave. I'll even get you a fucking plane ticket.
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a plate of half chump, half super greens, orange chicken, and kung pao?
Beef and cheddar sandwich, fries, curly fries.
Then for dessert? 3 deluxe.
If you don't love this country and you're not patriotic, you have the free will to go somewhere else. Look, we change presidents every 4 years. If you don't vote, don't bitch. If you want something to change in your community, get off the couch. Quit watching
talking to
TV.
somebody we know.
Be involved. Be present. The only way change occurs is by you putting in the effort. So don't complain when shit doesn't go your way. when you don't do anything about it. Don't bitch because Trump's president because you didn't vote. Don't vote for somebody based on skin color. But you'll jump on the side of a murderer for skin color. Do you know how stupid that really makes you look? I'm going to support somebody blindly, even though they did wrong. You're going to support someone who does something against the law. You're encouraging and saying it's okay because he's a certain color. Oh, you got more melanin than me. Ooh, so you get more in privileges, more entitlement? Because 400 years ago, someone actually sold you to us and we took you over here and put you to work. And then we had a civil war to free your ass. And now you want to talk shit? Oh, I've been so oppressed. You couldn't even vote 1960. Look how far you've come. Look at all the free shit we give you. You're not oppressed. You're fucking entitled.
Dude, letting it the fuck out.
You know what DEI stands for? Yeah. Means I don't have to be fucking qualified. I just have to be a certain color or a race or gender. Whose bright ass idea was that? I don't know about you, but when I grew up, there was no participation trophy. There wasn't a safe space created for me because my feelings were hurt. We had to take actual responsibility for our own actions. Wow, what a concept. If you want society to change, if you want a better place for your kids, then get involved in your kid's life, in your community, in your church, but don't sit on your couch and bitch when it doesn't go your way. Next question.
Can I ask a question real quick? Hey, Jeff.
Truth, we're trying to only take questions from the list here.
Okay.
Okay. Next question is there a way to contribute to the scholarship fund that is in memory of Austin?
Yes, there is. I believe it was posted at some point on my Facebook page. I know I dropped a $5,000 donation myself into it. Now, Megan, she needs to be credited. She was the one and friends of hers who got that all set up. Also, Halo Pizzeria. Both boys and Megan worked there. That was not her full-time job. That's her second job. She's very successful with a home builder in the DFW area. So that's not her only job. But the owner, I believe her name's Carrie, very, very great individual and has done fundraisers for Austin. And they were also instrumental with connecting with the school to set up the school scholarship fund that we did for Austin. And we did give it away this year. I think it was to Kayvon. I think it was Kayvon who got the scholarship this year. But it will continue every year. I will see if I can't find the link. I'll give it to Sarah and she can post it. Next question.
Okay. Next question. This is actually from a twin mom. She wants to know, did Austin and Hunter have their own language to communicate with each other?
Yes. Not only through verbal, but through also hand motions. Some secret sign language. I'm not privy to it. We actually, when they were born, this is a true story. I had to take a permanent marker, and this was Hunter, and we would color in his black, or his toenail black, so we could tell them apart. Because you put them on the floor and they crawl around, it's like a shell game. Where did he go? I don't know. So we told Hunter he's Native American from the Black Toe tribe. But one thing is for real. We are Native American. I have my Indian card and so do the boys. So if you want to talk about stolen land, yeah, that starts here. We were here before y'all were. They took all our land and put us on a reservation. They just brought you guys over on a boat. Next question.
Thank you, Jeff. The next question is, are you satisfied with the sentence that Carmelo Anthony received? Do you believe Austin has received justice?
That's a real easy question for me to know. Hell no. What is justice? Justice for me is when Austin walks through that door and can hug me. That's how long he should stay in jail until my son comes back through that door. Do I think justice was served? No. There's all types of justice. Street justice, legal justice, but no justice. No. Austin will never come back through that door again. That boy, he has the ability right now, actually, to be out before he's 40. He can still have a wife and kids. You tell me, you think that's justice? Nah.
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a plate of half chow mein, half super greens, orange chicken, and kung pao?
No, I'm not happy with the sentence. No, there was no justice served. It's a process that we have in place to control our society. They're called laws, and we have to abide by them. I'm no different than anybody else. I have to abide by them too. So whatever decision the court made, I have to abide by, whether I like it or not. Life is kind of like a shit sandwich. No matter how much bread you got, it still tastes like shit when you eat it. Next question.
Dad got all kinds of fucking sayings, don't he?
Do you think that Carmelo Anthony ever showed any form of remorse?
Zero, none whatsoever. The family who continue to spread lies. Kevin, hey, Mr. fucking Squeaky, you're silent all of a sudden. Where'd you go, bro? Huh? Thought you'd come visit me. You're the only one without a criminal record. I mean, you can cross straight lines and not worry. Come on. I'll promise. All my ARs are locked up. You're safe here. What about all you other grifters who want to jump on board? All y'all think since you have a phone and a voice that you're important? Oh, look at me. I have a platform. I got followers. That's your life. That's your identity. Good for you. If it works for you, hey man, that's your gig. Cool. Doesn't bother me until you bring it in my lane. You bring your shit in my lane, I'm gonna run your fucking ass over. You understand that? Don't underestimate old man. Anybody seen Dirty Harry? Clint Eastwood? Anybody know who that is? If you're old, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to troll the shit out of old
Make
man.
my day.
That's what I'm hearing.
Next question.
The next question is, why didn't the prosecution call anyone for statements before sentencing? Why?
To be honest, I was kept in the dark a lot to preserve the integrity of the case from the DA. So I was pretty much only notified when stuff was actually fixing to happen that was going to affect me. So I really don't know the answer to that question. Next question.
Okay. Next question. This next one is not a question. They think that you should run for governor.
Thank you, but I will tell you this right now. There are too many skeletons in my closet. Somebody knows which couple of the bodies are buried, so I can't. So I'm really not into politics. Like I said, this wasn't about race. Please don't politicize it. Besides, politicians, most of the time when their mouth is moving, they're lying.
No doubt.
They also believe that you should start a podcast, but maybe we could talk about that another time. Well, go ahead now.
I have been approached for documentaries, books, podcasts, speaking appearances, and I really don't know what I'm going to do. I haven't decided. Like I said, my whole focus was on this trial. That was my finish line. And now that I've reached it, I need to take a little time to decompress, get my head straight on straight, and figure out what I am. How can I best contribute to society? What is it I can do to help? Because I told you when things happen in your life, your priorities change. Like when I had cancer. One of the things, and I will recommend this. This was a movie I saw many years ago, and it changed my life. It's called Pay It Forward. And I still do it to this day. I did it this morning, matter of fact. I took my mom to breakfast. We were eating breakfast. This 81-year-old man walks in with a little service dog. He sits down. He has a Charlie Kirk shirt on, Marine veteran hat. He looks over. I said, hey, man, I like your shirt. And I said, hey, you vet? He said, yeah. I said, I appreciate your service. First thing he says is, I'm sure glad that trial's over. So I don't really want to speak across the room. So I get up and walk over to the man. And I said, I am too. I said, I'm Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf. And I had this shirt on. He said, I know who you are. I just want to extend my condolences to you. I'm so sorry. Before I left, I told the waitress, come here. I want to pay for this man's breakfast. Do not tell him until after we're gone. I'm not looking for recognition. But you watch the movie, pay it forward. It will impact you. Maybe not the same impact it had on me. I don't know. But I know it changed my way of thinking forever. Now, I've done this numerous times because, one, I'm not looking for recognition. I don't tell people about it. I don't broadcast it. I damn sure don't go live with it. It ain't about me. It's about you paying it forward. I've done it in Starbucks line. Hey, car behind me. I got it. Cool. I can tell you another story. 6 years ago, I took my boys out. We ate at Outback Steakhouse. There was a young lady over there and she was in tears. I don't know why she was distressed. I have no clue. I asked the waitress, hey, I want to pay for her meal just after we're gone. 4 months later, we go back to the same restaurant. Me and my boys. Waitress goes, I know you. At first, I was a little panicked. Oh, God, I don't remember you. Did I take you out? I'm so sorry. I don't remember your name. No.
Pop said,
She goes, you're the guy who paid for that woman's meal. I said, yeah, that was me. Her husband had just passed away from cancer. I didn't know how to respond. Like,
What can I get you to drink?
fucking commercial.
And a Coke.
And a Coke. And a Coke.
And a Coke.
Boy, they trying to make as much off of this shit as they possibly can.
I had no idea. And she goes, I know. But what you did, what you showed me, touched me to where I do what you do now. So what do you mean? You pay it forward too? She goes, is that what it's called? I said, well, there's a movie. And yes, that's the way I refer to it is I pay it forward. I don't look for recognition. I help. If I see a situation where I can help, I just do it. You don't need my name. I don't need a picture. God sees. God sees all. It's who I am. You know what? It makes me feel good at night so I can sleep because I'm a good person for the most part. There is a side of me that you don't want to see, but I know exists. I buried it a long time ago and I keep it buried because if it ever comes out, somebody's gonna get hurt and that's not me. I don't want to do that. Next question.
How do you feel about the rumor being spread that you're friends with the judge and the DA?
I really thought it was very funny because the picture they posted was at my friend's house. We all grew up in Louisville. We all know each other. We all still stay in touch. It was a Christmas party of my friend's house here in Frisco, and every single person in that picture called me and said, why are we on the internet? I'm like, I don't know. You're supposed to be the judge. You're supposed to be the DA. They're like, what? I'm like, dude, these people will spin shit into gold. I don't know how they do it. They believe themselves. So I don't know what they smoke, but it must be some really high quality shit because I have no idea where they can come up with this crap. As far as me knowing the judges and the DAs, hell, if I did that, we wouldn't be waiting 1.5 years for a trial. Your ass be going to prison in about 3 weeks. So I have no pull, no association. I've never met them before. And, make up some more shit, whatever.
Okay, and you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. Was it Hunter's choice to not attend the majority of the trial?
Okay, first of all, if you're a witness in the trial, you cannot be in the courtroom. The defense had the ability to call him as a witness at any time. The prosecutor did not need Hunter's testimony to convict. I did not want my son subjected to reliving that moment and being asked questions by the defense who would try to break him down. And as a father, I don't know if I would stand by and let that happen. I would probably be in jail. So we didn't need his testimony, first of all, to convict. Secondly, the defense had every opportunity to call him. The only reason he was in that courtroom because we were doing victim impact statements, sentence and verdict were already rendered. Then he was allowed in. That's why. And I'm damn glad he wasn't allowed in to witness and hear the bullshit and the smearing and I know it's the damn defense attorney's job, but he is a dipshit liar and tries to bore it into the jury's head. He's 130 pounds. It was raining. Shut the fuck up.
I agree 100%. The next two questions are very similar, so I'm going to actually kind of ask both of them. The first question is there anything you would change with the justice system? And the second question I have is, do you plan on working with local legislators to create any law that may possibly be named after Austin?
This is what I learned in my journey. Texas Tort Claim Act gives public schools in Texas sovereign immunity. They can't be held responsible. You can't sue them. And if you do, luckily somehow find a way in, it's capped at $100,000. That's not even going to pay your damn attorney. Do you think our school system should have carte blanche and don't have to abide by the rules of, hey, we're not responsible. We have sovereign immunity. If you believe that, you're going to believe that you can send your kid to school every day and they're going to come home alive. Ask the kids' parents in Uvalde. Could they sue? No. 19 kids shot to death. Who's responsible? They tried to pin it on a SRO officer who was a scared pussy and ran away. I wish and hope if we start a movement to have some legislation changed, it's going to take, like I said, getting off the couch, getting off your ass, and putting in the work. Do I want the law changed? Hell yes. The thing about Texas, they don't reconvene till 2027, and that's when Congress revenes. So we still have 7 months to get our ducks in a row, to line up our mission, to get our backing. Do you want it changed? You tell me, guys. I'll be your voice. If you want me to be your voice, I will stand up and yell. We want this changed. You want to back it? You want your kids to be safe? You want them to go to school and come home? You want to be responsible and be held accountable for what they do 8 hours a day? To be honest, those teachers spend more time with your kids than you do. But yet we don't pay teachers shit. Why? Why?
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a plate of half chow mein, half super greens, orange chicken, and kung pao?
Beef and cheddar sandwich, fries, curly fries.
Then for dessert, 3 $1 burgers.
All right. I'm glad that's
DUI?
Yes.
I'm not under the influence. Okay.
all right. Oh shit, not that crazy motherfucker. I know it, ADA. There's some shit in that. Let's see what we can find here.
Well, for the
watch
first time
him try
since
to
his
spin this
conviction,
shit.
we are hearing from the parents of Carmelo Anthony. He is that Texas teenager who was sentenced this week to 35 years in prison for killing fellow high school athlete Austin Metcalf. Prosecutors argue Anthony intentionally killed Metcalf after being shoved by him and his teammates at a Dallas area school track meet. His lawyers plan to appeal, saying prosecutors wrongly excluded Black people from the jury. CBS News spoke exclusively to Anthony's parents this morning.
Didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself.
What do you say to his grieving family?
It's unfortunate to where nobody wins. We've all been hurt by this. Everybody.
Well, Metcalf's father called the sentencing bittersweet, saying he wouldn't wish it on anyone, but also says his son will never walk through his doors again.
What is Carmelo Anthony's side of the story? The state has rested its case in the murder trial of a track athlete who stabbed another athlete to death at a track meet. The question is whether what happened was murder or self-defense. We're one of the only media outlets in the courtroom giving you all the details of what is happening in real time. I'll also tell you why a witness's testimony caused the family of the victim, Austin Metcalf, to step out today. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Let's see how they try to spin this shit.
Today, the defense finally began telling its side of the story in one of the most closely watched murder trials in the country. With Carmelo Anthony's future hanging in the balance, his attorneys are now trying to reshape the narrative jurors have heard for days, offering a version of events that could determine whether he walks free or this teen spends years, if not the rest of his life, behind bars. But looming over the defense is a question that has haunted this trial from the very beginning. Why did Carmelo Anthony have a knife at a high school track meet that day after first witness? And from the moment he took the stand, jurors heard a different account of what happened in the moments leading up to the deadly confrontation. All right, before we jump into Carmelo Anthony's side of the story, I want to get with Court TV's Cody Thomas inside the courtroom once again today. Cody, let's talk about how the state finished their case. And they call a witness today who's kind of the link between Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. He was teammates with Austin Metcalf, knew Carmelo Anthony to some extent. His name is Eddie. Why was his testimony important?
So we've heard this Eddie character's name, Chris, throughout the entire duration of all the student witnesses that have taken the stand. He is the common denominator. We heard a lot of people saying Carmelo knew Eddie. He came over and dapped Eddie up, gave him a handshake. Eddie was a childhood friend of Carmelo's now ex-girlfriend. So that's the connection there. Now, based on the testimony that the students brought up during the prosecution case, they were all saying that Eddie and Carmelo looked like they knew each other. It was, the obvious link. That's what the defense kind of talked about in their opening statements. Of course, some people under the tent said they didn't know who Carmelo was, but they looked over, he was sitting next to Eddie. Everything came back to this guy named Eddie. All right. So I was thinking, as I've been sitting there for the past few days, that Eddie was going to be a defense witness, because if he's great friends with Carmelo, then obviously, he'd fend for his friend, I would say. But one thing I was thinking before he got called was, if he knew Carmelo, why wouldn't he stand up and let everybody know, when all the commotion started, hey, this is my friend, he's here with me, blah, blah, blah. Everything's cool. But never heard that from any of the students' testimony. But anyway, Eddie gets on the stand today. They're going through his testimony. He's about 5 or 10 minutes in. And then Eddie kind of all but says he knew who Carmelo was. They were cool, but he verbally said, I wouldn't say we were friends. It was just kind of someone that he knew. Okay, cool. Now we move on to the cross-examination by the defense. And this is, I feel, was a little bit of a win for the defense. They showed a whole bunch of pictures of Eddie and Carmelo at these different group settings, at Eddie's house, no less. There was 50th birthday parties for Carmelo's ex-girlfriend's mother. Remember, Eddie and the girlfriend, this girl named Valeria, they were the ones that knew each other, and Carmelo was, I guess, the third party, you would say. So when they had these family functions, Carmelo obviously was there. Okay, they showed some group photos, kind of establishing. And then, here's another defense win to me today. They showed photos of Carmelo and Eddie together. Just being teenagers goofing off. One is playing a guitar, they're making silly faces at the camera. So Eddie gets up there under direct examination saying, yeah, I know him, but, I wouldn't say he's a friend. But then the defense pushes back and is like, hey, if you're not friends, why do you have all these pictures together? But the crux of Eddie's testimony today, though, Chris, was that he definitely got emotional talking about Austin's death. He said Austin was like a brother to him. He said that on the stand. And when he was describing, everything that he saw that day, when he came back and saw Austin had a hole in his chest, he immediately choked up and started crying instantly. They had to walk up there and give him Kleenex. And there were some new people in the gallery today, Chris. There were 5 young boys, presumably former teammates, former classmates of Austin Metcalf. And when they were describing that as well, 3 of those 5 boys started crying themselves. And, these are, big football player-esque guys. And they were crying too, just showing the emotional weight that this still carries. And, Carmelo's sitting there, he's taking it all in. I'm looking at him on his, at his table with his defense as this testimony is going, still sitting there stoic. I don't know what's going through his head. I'm sure he's realizing the gravity of what's going down, but his defense, the state rested today. So his defense is up, and they called 3 witnesses so far, 2 students included, one of those being one of Carmelo's friends too.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of time spent for both the prosecution and the defense kind of establishing why Carmelo Anthony was under this tent, because from the state's perspective, they've hammered this tent culture of track and field where it's you don't go under the tent of another school. But then with this Eddie character coming into play, like the defense is really trying to show that like Carmelo may have been invited under the tent. That's why he's there. I wonder just how much any of that matters. Because I just think of like, if you're a juror, it's like, when do you enter like the bubble of the information that matters, of like the interaction when we talk about things escalating to the point where Austin Metcalf, maybe it's a hard shove, maybe it's a soft shove, that happens. And then you have Carmelo Anthony responding with this stab wound that eventually takes Austin Metcalf's life. And that kind of leads to a witness that came, one of the final witnesses for the state today, the medical examiner who conducted the autopsy on Austin Metcalf. And before we...
Because I heard he never touched him. So you don't know what to fucking believe. I would like to find the actual evidence to it instead of just a bunch of hearsay. But that's what I had heard. He'd never even touched him. He just told him to get out of the tent.
We talk about that part of it. I know you've been sitting kind of near the family of Austin Metcalf, and I know there's been body cam video, there's been 911 calls. I mean, it's just the weight of what they're going through. It's just hard to imagine. What did you see prior to that witness being called?
So, the student witnesses wrap up, and there was this sort of announcement. All the media, as you mentioned, we're all sitting behind Austin Metcalf's family. All 9 members of the media are behind them. So before this medical examiner comes up, there's an announcement that she's going to be the next witness, to which the prosecution turns around. If you don't want to see or hear about any of these things, I'd advise you to leave the courtroom, because now you're about to get into, the injuries and talking about them. And I was sitting there thinking we were going to see the injuries. We didn't. The jury got to see 4 pictures of it, but us in the gallery did not see those things, but they were describing it in detail. So anyway, the prosecution announces, medical examiner's coming in. If you don't want to hear any of this, go out. Austin Metcalf's mom gets up and goes out along with some other family members and some people in their camp as well. His dad, Jeff Metcalf, initially said no. He nodded his head. I was sitting right behind him. He said he didn't want to leave. And then the prosecutor kind of makes a face and just goes, I advise you to leave. I could hear it was kind of a whisper. It wasn't, an announcement. It was more so a direct to him, to which Jeff Metcalf finally got up and left. And, we heard about this 2-inch gaping wound. She described gaping, and she described the difference between gaping and a slit style stabbing wound. Where gaping is more of it's kind of like filleted open, not to be insensitive to it, but that's the way she kind of described it on the stand. And that it was a 2-inch deep wound that hit the cartilage of Austin Metcalf's sternum and actually pierced one of the ventricles in his heart. So he was literally stabbed in the heart, which is likely why the CPR and life-saving efforts weren't working, because no matter how much the heart was pumping out, it was leaking, from the source. So it was really establishing the gravity of the wound. And the jury, again, got to see 4 pictures. 2 of them were Austin Metcalf on the autopsy table, and 2 of them were the heart removed from the body. That's what the medical examiner was describing they were seeing. So, of course, I'd imagine that a family didn't want to hear that. So mom, dad, and some other people, I don't know who they were, maybe the aunts and uncles, maybe it's just family, friends, and supporters of the Metcalf family. They all got up and left, about 7 or 8 of them.
And I wonder too, I know from the first responders who were there, the people who interacted with Carmelo Anthony right after all of this took place, where it seemed like he didn't think that what had happened was going to lead to Austin Metcalf's death. But then you hear about, the medical examiner, I think, straight up said something along the lines of like, there's no way that he could have survived this. Even if he was on an operating table, like a surgeon might not have been able to save him. The wound was that bad.
It absolutely was that bad. And those are the exact words that she said. And then one word that stood out to me, Chris, that she said, she starts describing the 5 manners of death, and to which she, classified this one as a homicide. And when she explained homicide to the jury, she said the intentional, bringing about of death by another human being. But the key word to that to me was, Chris, and I thought the prosecution would harp on a little bit, was intentional. It wasn't like accidental. It wasn't this and that. She said the intentional causing of harm that results in death by another human being. So I thought that was a powerful thing, that she said on the stand.
And you just wonder too, like a statement like that, just that one line. And then I also know from some of these student witnesses who have just very bluntly said they don't believe that this is self-defense. We're going to talk about the defense side of things here in a moment, and kind of from Carmelo Anthony's perspective, what they're trying to say. But over the last couple of days, with so many people just bluntly saying that to the jury, what impact that's going to have. Now, the state ends up resting. Before we get to the defense, I know that there was a quick motion.
You think that I'm kidding, right? Because there's a bunch of perverts in fucking jail. And especially fucking prison. And I'm going to tell you now, when you go in there and they classify you, when I was in prison, they come right out and said, hey, so many people of this race, I'm not going to say, have homosexual tendencies. And let me tell you something. When he gets there, they're going to welcome him in. They're going to wrap their arms around, oh, you the one killed that crackle. Right? And then the grooming is going to start. And it's not going to be good for him. Within a month, unless he's in solitary confinement, protective custody, they're going to be laying pipe to him. Straight up.
that the defense raised right as the state ended up resting. What was that about?
Yeah, the defense immediately motioned for a directed verdict. And in layman's terms, that pretty much means that the defense tells the judge, hey, I don't think the state really proved their point beyond a reasonable doubt. And if it was granted, the judge would be like, you know what, you're right. And pretty much grant this in favor of the defendant, to which there would be a not guilty and the defendant walks free. But the motion was almost immediately denied. The prosecutor said a few words, maybe 10 seconds.
He's going to be a Black & Decker pecker wrecker. That's what he's going to be.
And then the judge looked over to the defense, Mr. Mike Howard, and said, yeah, your motion is denied. So the prosecutor said a few words, maybe 10 seconds, and then the judge looked.
Yeah, they're going to have him hooked up. Let me see if I can find his little face again. Damn it.
For the directed verdict before they started their case. Then we took a recess and came back in for the defense to actually start their case.
Now, when it comes to the defense's case, the first witness they called was Carmelo Anthony's coach. And so we heard from Austin Metcalf's coach on the state side. What did he say?
He was talking about, they started off humanizing this defendant here, because let's not forget, we have a victim here, but this kid's liberty is at stake as well. He's claiming this self-defense and saying that, he feared for his life, which valid if he did. So this coach gets up there and he's talking about how Carmelo was this athlete who's on the football team, and they presented an exhibit of what they call the Captain's Awards at his school, to which you see Carmelo's name engraved as the captain in 2024 during his fall senior season. And they also pointed out that that is voted upon by the students, pretty much trying to show that, Carmelo Anthony is a reputable guy. He's somewhat of a leader. He looks like a leader to his classmates and his teammates. So they talked about that for a little bit, and then they got into the, we've heard the tent culture. That was what a lot of this has been, that phrase has been circulating around in the courtroom, talking about each tent is like each locker room for each team. Therefore, people should not be hanging under the tents. Well, this coach was saying, I get that, but at the same time, I guess it's the discretion of each coach. Whereas we had the coach from Memorial High School, that was the absolute first witness or the second witness by the prosecution, talking about how, strict he is and how, he enforces his rules. And we have had several student witnesses talk about how Coach Robert Starr, that's the coach for Memorial High School, has been strict. It's garnered some laughs inside the courtroom when they talk about how strict he was. But this coach here today was saying, there was times where athletes from another school would come under my tent when I'm there and, ask if they could be there. And I was like, yeah, we'll chill out and watch the 200 meters. But what the prosecution harped on during that, when they got under cross-examination, was, he specified when you were there as a coach, as a supervising individual versus, just the teenagers running free, because his coach also specified that they like to have a coach at the tents at all times just to watch teenagers. Not thinking about crimes. You got boys, you got girls, you got a lot of hormones. You want to keep everything in line with a bunch of teenagers. So, started off with, positivity for Carmelo, which obviously his side is in support of. But when it got to cross-examination, it just seemed like the prosecution was just ready for everything that this coach had to say and tried to dispute anything that was being said.
Yeah, I feel like one question that each day we kind of read it in talking about this is like, why does Carmelo Anthony have a knife at a track meet? And I feel like to this point, like that has yet, and we'll see. They are just beginning to present their case. But even in some of the cross-examinations, like it seems like the prosecution continues to hone in on that in asking questions to whether it's a coach or a teammate of Carmelo Anthony about having this knife at a track meet.
Yeah, Chris, because that question, that's the biggest question, and it hasn't been answered. And, even with the three witnesses today, the second witness was a student and a very good friend of Carmelo's. And, it started off, I thought the defense was on a roll. I was like, all right, the defense is coming back now. The student was talking about how at different track meets, they go under tents. He sits under tents all the time. He actually specified that he sat under the memorial tent for several minutes with Carmelo because they had a common friend that was on the track team. So I was like, oh, here's some pushback. Here's, some clarity in the air about the tent culture. Everything's rolling good for the defense. And then the prosecution comes back and asks, 4 or 5 questions. One of those questions being, do you expect a knife to be at a track meet? No, sir. Should a knife be at a track meet? No, sir. Did you expect anything like this to happen? No, sir. Just all these different things addressing the knife situation, which, to the average person seems like common knowledge not to have a weapon on school grounds, no matter if it's legal or not. Just having a weapon, people can legally carry guns, but you can't have them inside a school. You know what I mean? So that's where the prosecution was going. Every single time the defense tried to get the ball rolling, the prosecution asked those 4 questions that the answers to those questions went in the prosecution's favor and not the defense's.
Well, that's just common fucking sense. That's just common fucking sense. These fucking...
I'm trying to pay off your loan.
Stop calling me. You sound like a psycho. I swear to God.
I'm calling you to let you know that we're going to pay off every loan you have. Like, it's literally a good thing.
I understand, but I'm not interested.
And I wonder too, because I know, like, kind of going back to one of the state witnesses today who had mentioned that he felt like Austin was trying to intimidate Carmelo Anthony. So, like, eventually it gets to the point where, for whatever reason, he's in this tent. The members of Austin Metcalf's track team, Austin Metcalf, his twin brother, like, they just don't want Carmelo Anthony there. And then they get into this, like, back and forth confrontation. Maybe there's swear words being said. I know there was, like, some trash talk one student talked about related to, like, football that might have, like, raise things to the next level. But it still seems like there's still this question of like, was Carmelo Anthony in a position where he needed to defend himself to the point that he pulls a knife out of a backpack and stabs Austin Metcalf in the chest? And it just seems like we keep getting to this point and you're kind of waiting to hear that other side of the story.
That's exactly what everyone in here is waiting for. It's what I'm waiting for, Chris. I want to hear the other side of the story because everything so far from all the students, all the eyewitness accounts who were there on the scene, not talking about the coaches who were may have been scattered out across the stadium. We're talking students who were feet away under the same tent, every last one of them. And let me just address this too, Chris. I mean, I know, the racial aspect of this is a big deal. There have been several Black and Hispanic students, probably the majority of these students have been Black or Hispanic, testifying about these different things, talking about their love for the Metcalf family and what have you. But all of these students come back saying that they didn't even expect anything to happen. They thought it was just, some trash talk, some boys, just going back at it. And everything you've seen before, may have been some profanity. Some say they don't recall profanity. Some say they did. But none of them said that they felt like anything like this was about to happen. One of them even just said they thought, okay, when Austin shoved them, maybe there would have been a shove back and, that would have been it. But every last one said everything. Okay, so they said everything happened so fast. And then they didn't even realize what happened until Austin pulls his shirt up and they see a hole in his chest. So to your point, Chris, I'm waiting to hear the defense, whether maybe Carmelo Anthony will take the stand and testify about his own fears, which I would love to hear. I would love to hear both sides. That's how we get a fair trial. But right now, as of now, we haven't really heard anything that results in self-defense by lethal force. In fact, one of the students today said, the question the prosecution has been asking towards the end, do you feel this was self-defense? Many of the students just say, no, sir. One said, no, that was lethal force versus non-lethal force, which fair point.
Yeah. And again, like those are kind of just, if you're a juror sitting there and you hear that, how do you counter it from the defense's point of view? And I think of like, does Carmelo Anthony take the stand? And like, we may be like a good ways away from like whether or not that is going to be a possibility. But I do think like every single witness to this point who was there, who saw this, because he's under an opposing team's tent, like these are friends of Austin Metcalf who are testifying. So that is certainly a disadvantage, just frankly saying, for Carmelo Anthony and giving his side of the story. And he may be the only one who's able to give his side of the story when it comes to the defense. Before getting to the final witness of today, I think had like an interesting perspective on things. What did you see from the jury today? Because I know yesterday, the day before, like there were some really emotional moments. You could tell that the jury was getting emotional.
Yeah, not so emotional today, Chris. They were more so focused than anything, especially during the moments they saw those autopsy photos and, Austin Metcalf's heart literally out of his body. I was looking for some kind of visceral reaction, but they just all seemed to just really, just sitting there, just looking, just nodding. They're going back and forth. They're walking up and down, the jury box, showing them these photos, explaining what they're seeing and, getting into all the medical terms and everything, which I'm sure, some of them probably received that, but most of them are probably just receiving the visuals that they're looking at. But they were just very focused today, very focused, just, really listening to what was being said in court. Sometimes I see their eyes wander to the prosecution's table. They'd wander over, look towards the other side, towards Carmelo Anthony, maybe looking for how he'd respond to any of these things, but nothing really emotional from that jury here today.
Well, and I know from, Austin Metcalf's family, like we've talked about, like his dad at times will put his hand or his head in his hands, and you understand why with that emotion. From the supporters of Carmelo Anthony, I don't know which family members are there behind him in court. Like, what is their emotion as all of this is going on?
It's just strict stoicism, Chris. No crying. I've seen, some men with their arms around what I presume to be their wives or girlfriends or maybe even daughters. There's a collection of them over there, maybe 15 to 20 people on Carmelo's side, same amount over here on the Austin Metcalf side, but they're sitting there, no real tears, no one's really wiping any tears, but really just listening and taking it all in. Just stoic is the only way I can put it.
Now, when it comes to this final witness, we won't say their name because he's 17 years old. He is a student at Memorial High School, which is Austin Metcalf's high school. And in just kind of reading the notes of the day here, when it came to the defense questioning him, and he was a defense witness. So this is someone who knew Austin Metcalf, was on the team, and the defense is calling him. He had, I felt like, a little bit of a different perspective of what happened compared to some of the other students from this high school who have taken the stand.
Yeah, Chris, and it was interesting before he took the stand, or when he took the stand, the defense attorney said that they had not talked before. It was like, sir, we haven't talked before, but just 2 minutes right now in the hallway. I thought that was interesting because if you're trying to, gain an edge or gain a leg up, why would you have a witness that you haven't done, witness preparation with? But anyway, they start talking. They're walking through the events. It takes them about 20 to 30 minutes to walk through the lead ups to everything, what this kid saw. And we heard this for the first time today. He said, Carmelo, the whole thing with the hand in the bag and touch me and see what happens. He said that Austin Metcalf tapped Carmelo on the shoulder, like as an annoyance, like, oh yeah, touch me and see what happens. And then he said something that we haven't heard yet. He said, Carmelo said, okay, well, hit me and see what happens, or punch me and see what happens, which we haven't heard that testimony from any student so far. So I'm just wondering, why it was just now said here. We've had over 10 of these student witnesses, and it was just said now during this witness. And then, as he was testifying, he was kind of disagreeing with some of the things that the defense attorney was throwing out. Obviously asking questions to kind of fit the narrative of the defense here with the self-defense claim. And one of their, narratives that they're throwing out is that, these Metcalf boys were some big boys, 6'1", 6'2", linebackers, over 200 pounds. And they started talking about the size comparison thing again, starting to go down that rabbit hole. And they were talking about Austin. Austin was 6'1", 213, according to the medical examiner. And his brother Hunter, the defense is like, well, Hunter was similar in size, trying to make them out to be, the big bullies and all. That's the narrative they're going down. And as the defense attorney is asking this, I can see Jeff Metcalf, the father, just shaking his head like these boys are not the same size. And the young man on the stand said, I wouldn't say that. And he actually said that Austin was substantially bigger than Hunter, which is very interesting. I mean, you're going down this narrative and then you have a witness on the stand that's supposed to be in support of your narrative and he's negating things that you're saying. I don't know how that looks in front of a jury. I imagine it's kind of damaging, maybe not extremely damaging, but it can't be, positive.
Yeah, and I saw like this is one of the notes that you put in there, just something along the line of you have like Hunter, who is apparently like, and this is before the incident happens. Hunter is apparently talking to Carmelo Anthony. Austin's tone was moderate, and I guess this student kind of doesn't remember saying this to a detective, but he had recalled at the time something along the lines of Austin said like, "You better move before I beat your," another word for behind that we can't say here. Which like that is different. That is different than what we heard from some of the other students. As far as if you're talking about the situation that Carmelo was in, that is certainly different than what we've heard from some of the state witnesses that came earlier in the week.
Yeah, and that's a win for the defense if the jury takes it on, because that shows that Austin Metcalf was equally an aggressor here. Because so far, through all the witnesses with the prosecution, everyone's, in this agreement that Carmelo was this aggressor. Carmelo was the instigator. Maybe that's a better word. And that Austin was just simply frustrated. But now we're hearing that Austin might have been saying some curse words back to Carmelo, maybe provoking each other, versus just being a one-sided thing. No matter whether Carmelo was randomly there, under the tent or not, I mean, we're still talking about the provocation between these two young men. And that's what matters here. What are the facts and the truth surrounding that?
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
When you look at the cross-examination, though, from the prosecution, and it seemed like that they were almost prepared for this witness and what they were going to say, because there was like one line, and I'm just kind of picking one out here, something along the lines of he wasn't anticipating, from the shove that Austin Metcalf gave Carmelo Anthony, he was not anticipating, he was anticipating a shove back, something along that line. He was not anticipating Carmelo Anthony to pull a knife out and use that type of force. It just seems like the prosecution in some of these cases is prepared for what potentially could be some damaging testimony like what this student talked about.
Exactly. And that's to the point I was making earlier, Chris. When the defense brought this witness up there, he clarified to the court that they hadn't talked before. But then when the prosecution said, "Oh, yeah, we've talked for more than 2 minutes." And I was like, why would the prosecution be talking longer to a defense witness? But they were going down this path, and it seemed like the kid was under direct examination versus cross-examination when they came to talking to the prosecution, because the prosecutor was walking down kind of the same questions that he'd been asking their student witnesses when they got on the stand, just establishing the scene. And again, to the point, the line you just pointed out, he was just expecting this shove back. Not really concerned. He's kind of watching the races and everything going on, not expecting a knife to get pulled out and not even being concerned or scared of the situation. He didn't even feel like there was a fight that was going to happen. And he also ended by saying, he did not see Austin Metcalf as wanting to fight. He clearly said in his last answer by the prosecution under cross-examination that he felt Carmelo was in the wrong. And that's how the day ended. That was right before the adjournment and the recess right here, right now. So they got a few wins here, Chris, some small wins on the defensive side. I would have, liked to hear more challenges by the defense just to, to make it seem like it was a fair assessment of what was going on. But based on the witnesses call today, and again, very early. We don't know what next week is going to. We have an off day tomorrow on Sunday. We don't know if Carmelo will take the stand. We don't know if we'll have some stronger witnesses. But based off the witnesses today, it seems like they're off to a weaker start than expected.
Yeah, and you think about the jury too, and just some of the emotion that I know you said that you saw from those jurors in the state case, and certainly having that impact early. There's no doubt that this is a tragedy in any way. We'll see what happens next week as the defense now is presenting their case as Carmelo Anthony charged with first-degree murder. We'll see what happens next. Cody Thomas, great job as always. Court TV inside the courtroom for us, covering this very high-profile trial. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Chris. As always, happy to be here.
That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law and Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify, and we're also now streaming on Peacock. I'm Chris Stewart. We'll see you next time.
See, now that give me a little more information. I haven't watched anything on it.
Are built on a lie. It's okay. First degree, premeditated murder, capital punishment. We want justice.
We're going to stand by ours regardless. This is about race. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't give a damn.
Wow, those were the chaotic scenes outside of a Texas courthouse this week during the murder trial of Carmelo Anthony. Hello, everyone. This is the second hour of the big weekend show. It is day 3 of the trial of Carmelo Anthony, and he's accused of first-degree murder for the deadly stabbing of fellow 17-year-old high school student Austin Metcalf. Now, the alleged murder occurred at a Texas high school track meet back in 2025. The defense team claims Anthony acted in self-defense, while the state rested its case just moments ago after calling 21 witnesses. We have team coverage with former NYPD Inspector and Attorney Paul Morrow standing by. But first, we go to Brooke Taylor live outside of that court in McKinney, Texas. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Tommy. Yeah, at the center of the prosecution's case right now are these students that were under the tent. They saw the stabbing and the moments leading up to it. More than 10 of these students and teammates testified in court yesterday and today. Now, many told jurors that they thought it was unusual that Carmelo Anthony, who went to a different school, was under their team's tent. The defense said that Anthony was sheltering from the rain and recognized someone there. Students testified that Austin Metcalf repeatedly asked Anthony to leave. Several recalled Anthony responding, "Touch me and find out." Now, jurors also heard that Metcalf made the first physical contact, but witnesses described it as minor. One called it a soft touch. Another described it as a little push. They testified that moments later, Anthony pulled out a 5-inch folding knife from his backpack and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. The defense argues Anthony acted out of self-defense and fear. Now, one of the key witnesses today was a 17-year-old teammate of Metcalf's who was under the tent. He testified that Metcalf tried to avoid a fight, telling Anthony, quote, "Dude, I'm not going to fight you at a track meet." Now, jurors also heard from an 18-year-old witness today. This is important testimony.
So he said, "I'm not going to fight you at a track meet." So he's telling him right there that there's no issue. There's no beef. You just got to get the fuck out of here.
Because he knew both Anthony and Metcalf, and he was the student who Anthony was apparently saying hi to. He testified when Austin asked him to leave, quote, "Carmelo said, 'You'll have to move me.' Austin put his hand on his back. I saw Carmelo's hand go in the backpack. We're at a track meet. I wouldn't expect anything to be in there," Carmelo said. "Touch me, you'll have to move me and find out," trying to provoke him. "Then what happens?" the prosecutor asked. He said Austin puts his hand on him and falls back. "How was Austin trying to move him?" the prosecutor asked. He responded, "It was him trying to move him off his seat, a soft shove." The prosecutor then said, "What did Austin do?" The witness replied, "I see the hole in his chest and blood." He starts screaming for help.
Okay, see, now that makes more sense. That makes more sense than they tried to make it sound like he fucking attacked the boy.
Now, the state's last witness was a medical examiner. The prosecution showed 4 pictures of Metcalf. His family
was trying to hurt him out their tent.
Stepped outside the courtroom so that they didn't have to see that. Meanwhile, if convicted of murder, Anthony faces up to life behind bars. Tommy.
Brooke Taylor, thank you so much.
See, that puts a little more. That puts a little more information, a little more light on it, right?
What is Carmelo Anthony's side to the story?
Out of the tent, and he tried. Okay.
First of all, obviously, sir, I am very sorry to have to meet you under these circumstances. How is the family?
Speed this shit up just a little bit. Okay, trying to get struck by these motherfuckers.
Coping to make it through this time?
Well, I mean, we all grieve differently. Myself, my son, Megan. It's been an emotional roller coaster. I'm exhausted spiritually, mentally, physically. So it's taken a great toll on all of us. And we're still navigating grief, where it's going to take us.
What do you tell yourself about why this happened?
Oh, I don't know the answer. I really wish Carmelo would have testified. So that's the question is why? And since he chose not to testify, I'll never know that answer.
And you say that that haunts you because what would that mean to you to know?
It actually doesn't haunt me. It is what it is. I don't care what reason you give me. My son's gone. He's never going to walk through the door again and hug me. So realistically, I don't give it a second thought. We're moving forward. We're not looking in the past. So I need to focus on my other son and my own mental health, and just move forward and keep Austin's legacy alive for as long as I live.
How does it affect this situation that they weren't just brothers, they were twins, and of course his brother was there and witnessed all of this?
I can't imagine, first of all, having a brother murdered in front of me and then actually holding him in my arms trying to make the blood stop. I can't fathom what my son is going through and went through. I know during the court trial, there was some body cam footage played, and I could hear him screaming in the background. Oh my God, someone help. It's my twin. It's my best friend. Coach, help, help. God, please help, help. That was probably the most painful part of the entire trial because I had never had access to that before. I had seen the video of the event, but never the body cam footage, and it really it rocked me to my core.
How did you arrive at the decision that, even though you don't know why, even though you don't love the sentence, that when it comes to how you feel about Carmelo Anthony, that there is forgiveness for you? How? That's easy. It's my faith. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I mean, I'm a Christian. And it says, it talks about forgiveness in the Bible. And one forgiveness, people need to understand this. It's not that I'm giving him a pass and saying, oh, it's okay. Forgiveness is actually for me. It allows me to not carry around hate, anger, rage, revenge, any of that.
Let's see if some of these stupid motherfuckers just put it out.
He was found guilty of murder. The woman here is crying.
I had a little bit of...
Austin's father responds to
yesterday.
So do you believe your son received a fair trial?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're gonna keep fighting.
You
We
are.
will not stop fighting for justice for my son.
And as parents, have you all struggled with guilt, asking yourselves, is there anything differently? I know, Kayla, you said you wish you had gone to that track meet. Is there anything that you both wish you could have done differently?
I wish I would have just been rebellious. I was told, don't talk to this person. Don't talk to this person. I feel like it was just a setup. Now, so they told us, go get white attorneys. Every black person I went to, white attorney. No white attorney, they set them up, pushed them. Hey, here you go. I mean, no objections. It was things smooth. So because as a father of me being who I am, I got to make sure she's straight. This mama bad. I got to make sure she's straight mentally, because if she's not straight, my house ain't straight. I'm not straight. Then so because I got the kids to worry about. Got to make sure his mental health. I can't go back and forth with him right there because his mental can handle it. The misunderstanding of what dad is trying to tell. This ain't a daddy moment.
So do you believe your son received a fair trial?
I got you now.
I don't want to.
Victory is in my sight.
Well, for the first time since his conviction, we are hearing from the parents of Carmelo Anthony. He is that Texas teenager who was sentenced this week to 35 years in prison for killing fellow high school athlete Austin Metcalf. Prosecutors argue Anthony intentionally killed Metcalf after being shoved by him and his teammates at a Dallas area school track meet. His lawyers plan to appeal, saying prosecutors wrongly excluded black people from the jury. CBS News spoke exclusively to Anthony's parents this morning.
Didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself.
What do you say to his grieving family?
It's unfortunate to where nobody wins. We've all been hurt by everybody.
Well, Metcalf's father called the sentencing bittersweet, saying he wouldn't wish it on anyone, but also says his son will never walk through his doors again.
Let's just see. Let's just see what these motherfuckers are saying.
So we pretty much know all of the details involving the case of Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. And through all of the witness testimony, facts brought up in the court, and just general information about this case, there is undeniable proof that Carmelo Anthony should be found not guilty. Now, let me give you guys a quick rundown of the situation and how it unfolded. So they're at a track meet.
All right. So let's just go through some of these comments. Let's see what people. 4 black teens and 4 black coaches testified against him. Excuse me, you don't stab someone because they push you. Dude generally wants criminals on the street. Good. I'm glad to see the comments. This might be the dumbest reaction of the entire case. This dude is a fool. You cannot stab someone pushing you. Yeah, I agree. Life in prison. It's not a good hill to die on. Could have probably used a better statement.
While at this event, it started to rain. And the tent that this all took place under, Carmelo was under there because he knew someone that was inside of the tent. So a lot of people are trying to make this narrative that he just walked inside of a random tent. No, that wasn't the case. His school didn't have a tent. He knew somebody that was under the tent. They invited him under, and he went in. Cool.
So let's go back to the 4 blacks you were talking about. What is the solution?
The solution.
How do you fix that? If you're saying those are the 4 different types of blacks, you said the blacks, the house, and then the third and fourth, which I'll let you say right there. There's a thumbnail to your video. How do you fix some of those issues that's being done right now in the black community?
3 things. Crime. You've got to be really tough on crime. And when I mean that, for the black community, you've got to be tough on crime. Not just, white people or any black people have to be tough on crime, because at the end of the day, it's us. We're dealing with it. Definitely for murderers. I'm big on that. Drug dealers, rapists, people who do the harsh and very heinous crimes in our community. We've got to be very aggressive in combating them. That's something we don't want to have a conversation about. We're looking at a lot of these cases where we have individuals who are very undesirable, and we're looking to defend them. Look at the Carmelo Anthony case. People are defending him, not because he's innocent or not because, he's a good person. This wasn't a doctor or a lawyer. It's somebody who murdered somebody, and people are willing to defend that just simply because he's black rather than because he is innocent. That's a big problem that we have. We will defend criminals and killers before we defend doctors, lawyers, the best and brightest in our community.
What's your biggest problem with the Carmelo Anthony case? Because there's a lot of stuff that came out.
There is, yeah.
If you want to go through it, there's a lot of stuff that came out. I think they ended up, Rob, how much money did they raise? $700,000 or so on GoFundMe that people try to help them out. None of that was used apparently for the legal fees. I think that was a public defender. But what is your core problem with the Carmelo Anthony case?
Well, my problem is
a public defender. They tried, somebody in the comments earlier said, nah, the dude started out as a public defender. But that ain't what we just heard from PBD podcast. I'm sure he's not putting fake stuff out here. He may. I don't see it, but. $700,000. Now my shit's froze up. All right, cool. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money, man. That is a lot of money. And then the fact that they didn't even spend it on the kid's defense. Like, how do you do that? How do you not do that? I will say this. I'm not looking for no race war. I'm really not. And the people who are speaking that way are very, very fucking foolish. Because I promise you, they don't want that. They think they do because they think they're going to get some kind of justification out of it. But the reality of it is when people start dropping and the pain starts really hitting their ass, in the brain, they're not going to wish that, man. You talking about people that's growed up with guns all their life. You really want to have a shootout with them people? Start telling them they can and can't come out. You might go attack Granny and Grandpa, you know what I mean, at the red light, but you're not going to go up to a fucking redneck that's like just itching for a fucking problem anyway. Why this shit froze up, I have no fucking idea, but it did. Yeah, no, they took all of it, misbehaving. They took every bit of it. And built a new house and went and bought I think a Mercedes Benz or some shit. It was wild to watch. Why you would do that? You want everybody else to care about your kid, but you don't care about your kid. If you care about your kid, you would have spent that money what it was meant for instead of leaving him with a public defender. They knew he was guilty, and they're going to play it for everything that they're worth. You can go on the news right now and see her at her crying. Oh, you didn't get a fair trial. Well, that's on you, bitch. You fucking took his defense money and spent it. You know, and people are gullible as fuck too. They'll go right with it. They'll fall right in line with it. All right, y'all. I'm fitting to get his ass up and get motivated. Matter of fact, I'm gonna check the time before I get off the internet. Though, I'll tell you that. Let's see what time the tide is. I don't know if I should go fishing, man. They said white people can't leave the house today. We're supposed to hide. Are you gonna hide? I'm not fitting to hide. Josh, you gonna hide? Maybe we all better hide. Yeah, he no doubt, smart mouth, and he fucking deserves it too. Let me check what the tide is. I bet Camarlo wishes they could go fishing right now. Let me see here. Low tide's at 212. Yep, man, Mama Fan had to get the hell up out of here. You just left the grocery store. That's what's up. You know you're not allowed to go nowhere. But anyways, y'all do be respectful to people, but don't let nobody fucking corner you. Start talking shit. Y'all have a good day. Be safe out there. Peace. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me this morning. Later.